Hello and welcome to episode 66 of the ABC podcast. My name is Alex and I am joined by Brandon Park Week.
I think this is where I draw the line for you.
What?
I've been a big supporter of you, but no, this is no.
But Shark Week was last week, so now it's Park Week.
Was it really last week?
Yeah.
Because I was seeing a bunch of things on my timeline, but I thought people were just complaining about it.
Yeah, it was last week.
Oh, good for them, I guess.
Anyway, so full disclosure, my beautiful wife, Robin, is also here, but supposedly
For some reason.
She's just going to be minding her own business, although I really doubt that. So if you hear something in the background, that's her. So probably just ignore it.
Thanks a lot.
Like that. So
Hashtag is also...
Really know how to pick them. You really know how to pick them.
It's also National NFP Week. Shout out to that.
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, I'm back. It was,
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have a violin to play for you. But, yeah.
It was nice to take a break. It was weird to hear the version of the podcast without me calling the shots.
I like that you were still in the podcast, though.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you were. Like, literally, when I put it on, I'm like, yeah, of course he would do this. He would put his own disclaimer on his own video.
But yeah.
How was the cruise?
The cruise was interesting.
Your Twitter feed was very, very interesting. Let's say that much.
Yeah, so it was my first time going on a cruise, and honestly, possibly my last.
Not too big a fan?
No, I mean, like, it was okay. Like, it was an interesting experience, but I mean, there's a lot of things I could say, and I don't want to take up too much time on it, but like...
Go ahead.
I mean, one of the things was that, like, I felt a lot of pressure to, like, squeeze every minute of enjoyment out of it. Because, you know, they're always, like, having these activities and whatever. And, like, there's, you know, a pretty decent variety of what there is to do. But a lot of the time, we just wanted to, like, go back to the room and, like, watch TV or sleep or whatever. And, like, as much as we needed that and enjoyed that, we still kind of felt guilty about, like, you know, not, you know, being out and socializing or like drinking or eating, which is a huge part of what there is to do on the ship, or, you know, gambling or swimming, or, you know, there's tons of things to do. Like there's
at no point did you ever tell anybody that I am the captain now.
No, I did not.
Oh my gosh.
He definitely said that to me like 5 times.
I meant besides her. So yeah, like, honestly, so the best part of the cruise, hands down, was when we got off the boat in Mexico. So we got off, we went down the dock, we found the, like, little dinghy, it's called the catamaran, that we thought was supposed to take us where we thought we were supposed to go, although when we got on, like, we were kind of unsure that we were actually going to the right place, but we ended up going to the right place.
Okay.
So we went on there, we waited for, like, 10 minutes, and then we took off. And they brought us out into the middle of the Gulf, not too far from shore, and actually not too far from the cruise ship either. But it was, you know, a nice open space, really clear water. They gave us our snorkels and everything, and after they kind of, you know, showed us how things worked, they said, "All right, here you go, get in the water." So we did. You know, we got in the water. There was probably like 50 people, maybe a little bit more. So it was like, it was just like a huge group, which I really didn't like. Like, I'd been snorkeling once before with a much smaller group. It was probably like 20 people. And that was nice because we got to like really spread out and, you know, like see more, you know, fish or whatever. And here it was just like a mess of people. Like, you were more worried about not trying to avoid getting kicked in the face than like looking like at the water and stuff. But even despite all that, I still enjoyed that. So that was like 30 minutes.
That was a very big contradiction. But I believe you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying I would have enjoyed it more. No,
I understand. I understand. Yeah.
And the other thing was we just weren't out there very long. So
it didn't like seem worth it.
No. I mean, it was fine, but there's more to it than that. So after we got done with the snorkeling part, we all got back in the boat, and then they took us farther down the coast. And while we were going, they got out the alcohol. So we got free beer and free margaritas, and they had some soda and water too. Very weak margaritas. Although the beer was, well, actually, it was kind of watered down, but it was still fine. It was free, so like, what are you gonna do?
That's true.
Once we got back and I was catching up on Twitter, I also saw that there was like health warnings about like companies like that giving tainted alcohol to tourists and was making them like pass out and stuff. So I'm glad that didn't happen to us. So we went farther down the coast, and then we got to this private beach where they had like a bunch of like chairs, in the sand, and a bunch of like inflatable toys, I guess. I don't really know what else you would call them, in the water. So they had like a giant slide and a Jungle Joe, and I don't know, like it was like a giant inflatable Saturn, basically. That was the only one I didn't mess with because I tried to get on it. It was like too hard.
Okay.
And a giant water trampoline. So we, got out in the ocean. We played on those. Well, I played on them. Robin just kind of judged me from the side.
I tried. It was too hard.
And we did that. Then we just kind of like swam and floated in the water a little bit, and then we got out in the hammock for a little bit, and then it was time to go. So we were only on the beach for like an hour and a half, I think.
Okay.
So we paid like $90 each for the excursion. So that was kind of expensive for like 2 hours of stuff, but I still had a good time. That was my favorite part of the cruise. Once we got back from the excursion, there's like a little like port town or whatever. It's just like a bunch of touristy shops and stuff. But we did pick up some presents while we were there, and we did get you.
Oh, you didn't have to. What is this?
A present.
Newspaper. I love newspaper.
When we gave his dad his present, he started reading the newspaper.
What? This is a bottle opener?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to be sure. I like it. I really like it. It's a bottle opener in the shape of a Corona beer bottle. Are you trying to tell me something?
No.
I feel like you're trying to tell me something.
No.
It's okay if you are. You can tell me. Be honest with me.
I like drinking with you, Brandon.
It is fun, I have to admit. It is pretty fun. Maybe a little bit too fun, but it is pretty fun. But thank you. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I'm glad you guys had a pretty good trip, though, overall.
Yeah.
Even though it had a little minor bumps and everything.
Oh, yeah. So what I was going to say is that ultimately, I think I would rather, like, just fly to Cozumel and, like, stay in a hotel and, go out on the beach every day than, like, take a cruise there. I feel like it would probably cost around the same amount of money. And I just, personally, I feel like I would enjoy it more. So
that's understandable.
Yep. Then I came back, and we've been taking care of a bunch of adult stuff, which is not as much fun.
I've been taking care of a bunch of adult stuff. Yeah.
I sold my car yesterday, though.
I saw.
Which was really weird. It was the first car I ever had. Only car I've ever had. So I drove that in high school, then got passed on to my sister when I went to college, and then when she went to college, because my brother still wasn't old enough to drive, I kind of got de facto ownership of it, and then eventually my parents actually just like transferred the title over to me. So it was mine, and we're moving to New York and everything, and we really only needed one car. Like, it just didn't make sense. Not to mention that my car was kind of a piece of junk. So yeah, like, even though like it wasn't a very good car, like I never like was like, oh, this is my car and I'm gonna take such good care of it. It was just like kind of a a thing that I had to have. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Oh, sorry.
Coming from somebody who's never owned a car before,
sorry.
No, I do not know what you mean.
Anyway, I sold it. I got more money than I was expecting for it.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it was kind of like a rite of passage kind of thing. It's the weird thing, though, is that like I'm not replacing it with another car. Like, it's just gone.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, that's what I've been up to. Talked a lot more than usual.
No, not really.
What about you?
I feel it's pretty same amount. You got to catch up on all that you missed. What I've been doing?
Yeah.
Working. So much work. It's pretty bad how much I'm working, actually. I haven't had a day off in like 2 weeks.
Dang.
I have to work tomorrow.
Dang.
At 6 a.m.
What?
Yeah.
Dang.
So, I don't know. I'm all like on the brink of sanity right now. But it's all good in the hood.
Okay, then I don't know where to go from there.
I mean, I'm fine. I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know where to go from here.
Okay, well,
I finally touched Netflix for the first time in like 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like the highlight of my week.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to...
This is the highlight of my week. Oh my god.
It's gonna be okay.
Come on, you've had a little bit of too much of a normal life right now. Now that you're back with me, you have to kind of embrace the craziness again. You've missed it. You know you've missed it.
Yeah.
It's like Batman and Joker. You're Batman, I'm Joker.
Yeah, okay. Let's go to the ABCs of Geekdom segment, I guess.
You okay?
Yeah. No, I'm good. One thing before we start.
Yep.
When I was listening yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
so I was getting ready to get in the shower, and I had my like speaker in the like bathroom part, and then I was like, I think washing my hands like in the like antechamber of the bath. I don't know what else to call it.
Oh, you fancy.
Yeah.
You're very fancy.
Anyway, so Austin was like deciding what to talk about, and he said X's, and I thought he said Exodus, like from the Bible,
yeah.
and I was like, that's a pretty Austin thing to do. I wonder how he's going to tie that in. I wonder how he's going to tie that into like nerdy stuff, and then I was wrong. So.
You know, that's true. That if he had talked about Exodus, that really would have been an Austin thing.
So anyway, this week is the letter Y, and it's Brandon's turn to pick. So Brandon, take it away.
Okay, so for this week, we're going to talk about Yosemite Sam.
Okay.
Yeah. Have we ever done one about a Looney Tunes character?
Looney Tunes character. I want to say we might have done. No, I was gonna say I thought we did the Tasmanian Devil, but I don't think we have. He's definitely been in a fanfic fight, but I don't think we did.
Because Duck Dodgers was in a fanfic fight too. So.
No. That was a different one. We did Tasmanian Devil versus Crash.
Yeah. No, I mean he's been in a fanfic fight.
Oh yeah.
And
we also did Danger Duck.
Yeah.
Lunatics.
We mentioned Looney Tunes a bunch of times,
yeah.
but I don't think we ever used one for ABC.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So Yosemite Sam, yeah. How do you describe Yosemite Sam? Besides your rootin' tootin' gunslinging short guy with a humongous mustache.
Yeah, like I think that's his like biggest thing is that he's very short, redheaded,
red-bearded,
red mustache, giant cowboy hat.
Yeah, unless he's playing like a pirate, because sometimes he'll or when he'll play like a knight. Did you ever see that segment?
I mean, probably. I don't remember.
Anyways, please continue.
Oh yeah. So big cowboy hat, very angry, very stereotypical like Texas accent.
Yeah.
Kind of Texas attitude too. Just like minor, like Old West. I don't know. Dude.
Yeah, I don't. But he's definitely a classic that came from Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you can make the argument that everybody who was a part of that was essentially a classic. But, I don't know. It makes me kind of sad that sometimes nowadays I'll bring up the Looney Tunes and people really don't know too much about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can kind of know what you're talking about if you talk about Bugs Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go more in depth and talk about, like, say, I don't know, Sylvester.
Yeah.
Like they might struggle a little bit to understand about that. So yeah, I don't know. But that's veering a little bit away from Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we said, he's typically portrayed in the antagonist role. Mm-hmm. He's usually paired up against Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Because everybody has to fight Bugs Bunny. Kind of makes me think that I think Bugs is kind of like the instigator a lot of times. Like he does a lot of good. But a lot of people are just kind of minding their own business, and he just kind of comes along.
Right.
And he's usually trying to like go to vacation somewhere, and he always he has like the worst sense of direction because he always takes a right somewhere. Yeah.
Should have taken that left at Albuquerque.
Yeah, that's the only reason I know that Albuquerque exists. And yeah, the multitude of misadventures that he has with Yosemite Sam is just incredible. I mean, like I said before, he's ranged anything from squaring off against him in a castle, where I'm pretty sure Yosemite Sam was the Black Knight because he was wearing like black medieval armor, and he had a dragon, and he would just try to find all these ways to hunt bugs, but just never worked. And then eventually somehow Bugs got a hold of the castle that he was supposed to be guarding. And so he tries all these different ways to get back into the castle. And there's another one when Bugs was in the Sahara Desert, and Yosemite Sam, he ended up like changing his nickname to like match the environment that he was in. So I think his name was like Riff Raff Sam or something like that. I don't know what it was. But yeah, he just ended up, I don't know what the premise of the, oh, right, because Bugs was getting footy prints all over his desert. So he decided to hunt down Bugs for that. And yeah, like one of the, like my favorite one, I mean, they're all superb in their own way, but probably my favorite one is classic when Yosemite Sam, he comes into like a saloon and he's kind of bragging about himself and just shooting everywhere. And Bugs basically tells him to shut up from the corner. And then Yosemite Sam tries to like do all these ways to get into a fight with Bugs, but Bugs is so unconventional of everything he does, because that's just the humor of how Looney Tunes is.
Yeah. That
Yosemite Sam just progressively, he gets more and more agitated and more of his schemes go more and more crazy until I think at some point, like, he tries to, there's something involving a train. I think he tried to tie Bugs up or he tried to kill him with a train.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. I just know that the train ended up falling off the rails.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I know that, like, there's not really, like, Looney Tunes chronology or anything. I mean, like, I think nowadays it's a little bit more so, but, like, back in the day, it was just really all over the place. But if you wanted to, like, rank, like, Bugs' enemies or anything, I would say Elmer Fudd is probably number one, but then Yosemite Sam is probably number two. Mm-hmm. And do they really have any other enemies? I mean, that witch lady, I guess.
Oh, yeah. You know, I always like how Wikipedia makes everything sound so sophisticated. Yeah. So I'm looking him up right now, and like they're doing a comparison between him and Elmer Fudd. And it's pretty, I don't know, I just like the way that this person worded everything. He's like, or they were like, Sam is significantly tougher and more aggressive than Elmer Fudd when challenging Bugs Bunny.
I agree.
That's such a analytical way of looking at it. He's also quicker to learn from his mistakes and never falls for the same ploy twice, which is a lie. But despite Sam's bluster, he doesn't prove much brighter than Elmer in his encounters with Bugs. Very true. Yeah, I don't know. I love the way that they just worded that thing. So the classic episode was Nighty Night Bugs, where he actually was a Black Knight. Yeah, so go me. Oh, and he always uses the word varmint. He always calls Bugs varmint.
I bet he says "what in tarnation" a bunch too.
He probably does. I do miss that meme a little bit, but I'm glad it died down.
Yeah. I don't know. It was one of my favorites.
I liked it a lot, just because. I don't know.
I mean, like, there was some good variety to it, more than like
I feel like that's
stupid hot dog thing. But
yeah, I hate that hot dog thing. But there is one that I found that was pretty funny. Maybe if we have time, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Who's your favorite Looney Tunes character?
Favorite Looney Tunes character? I mean, Taz is cool. Roadrunner's really cool. Speedy Gonzalez.
Oh, he's always
pretty rad. Those was probably like my top three. You know, I don't like dislike any of the Looney Tunes characters, really. What about you?
Probably one of my favorite ones is Daffy. Because I feel so bad. Because I feel like he gets the short end of the deal so many times. And I really like Sylvester. And Wile E. Coyote.
Okay.
I feel
like Wile E. Coyote?
Yeah, because, I mean, I feel so bad for him. He does all these things to try and get this dumb Roadrunner. And the Roadrunner isn't even, like, trying to outsmart... Well, sometimes he does. But majority of the time, he just runs really fast.
Yeah. Oh, Marvin the Martian is really cool, too.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen those new DC cross Looney Tunes comics?
I haven't read them, but I've seen them before.
I don't want to read all of them, but the Marvin the Martian, Martian Manhunter one.
I know really that looks pretty funny, though.
Yeah, and then there's what is that? Batman and Elmer Fudd looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, I remember seeing a couple panels from that. They make Elmer look like a legit rogue gallery builder.
Yeah. And then what else is there? There's Wonder Woman and Tasmanian Devil, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I know there's at least one more. I think there's a total of 6, actually. But now I'm forgetting. But yeah, anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with Yosemite Sam. Although Yosemite Sam with Jonah Hex comic, I would read that.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
Anyway, to bring it back to Lunatics Unleashed, Yosemite, like all of the Looney Tunes characters, like make a appearance basically, like it's their like ancestor or
they have like counterparts.
Yeah. And Yosemite Sam does have a counterpart. He's like a futuristic train robber, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember exactly.
I want to know. No, I want to say I know what you're talking about, but I'm not comfortable with like saying that I do.
Okay.
But it's like in the back of my mind, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I'm kind of fuzzy on what exactly he does or what happens or anything, but I definitely remember that happening. But
give me 1 second. I'm looking this up. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. I remember this episode. Do you want to try and pronounce his name?
Ophiuchus Sam? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna have to watch the episode or something to get a pronunciation. But yeah, that's a thing. Anything else to say about Yosemite Sam?
So let's just do a hypothetical, really short version of the fanfic.
Okay.
Who has the quickest draw? Yosemite Sam or Han Solo?
Oh man, I think it's Han Solo.
Han.
I think that just Yosemite Sam has a lot of character flaws, but I think he has a shred of honor.
Yeah,
and I don't think Han Solo.
Oh.
He has honor, but not when it comes to dueling.
Okay, and that is true because, well, actually, I don't know because I don't remember this correctly, but I know he challenged Bugs to a duel one time, and they were supposed to take 10 steps, and I think either he shortens it or it just counts it really fast and he turns around. So obviously he meant to betray Bugs, but I might be having that wrong. I don't know.
No, that sounds like that would happen. Although he has such short, stubby leg, 10 paces wouldn't really get him very far.
Probably.
So yeah, that was a good ABC segment.
Thank you. Thank you. I might actually go watch some Looney Tunes after this.
When we were on the ship, there was only a handful of channels, and one of them happened to be Boomerang.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I like Boomerang, but everything they were showing was very it was weird. So they showed the Powerpuff Girls reboot, one of the new Scooby-Doo iterations, the new Looney Tunes cartoon, and something else an old cartoon that had been rebooted. I don't remember, but yeah, there was none of no Flintstones, no Jetsons, or all the old stuff, or Dexter's Lab or original Powerpuff Girls, all the stuff that Boomerang used to play. Now it's just old cartoons that have been redone that should be on Cartoon Network. So
yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. Anyway, so that means it's time for the correction segment.
Oh boy.
And we've got 3 weeks worth of corrections to go through. So
get comfy, y'all.
It's actually not too many. Oh, so you didn't do corrections last week, which is totally fine. I don't know what happened though, because I texted you them before.
Really?
Yeah, before we left. I'm pretty sure it was. So
I didn't get them.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it's fine.
Because I was meaning to do it, but last week was the freshman retreat that I was helping with, and it was just so much going on so fast. And by the time I realized that I didn't get them, I didn't want to bother you on your cruise. I didn't want to be that guy that's, you're taking a break and be like, hey, it's if, I don't know if you ever had this, but when you're on vacation or you have a day off, then your manager or coworker will contact you. And you're not really, I mean, I guess it's different in our situation because we're actually friends, but you get along with your coworker or your manager.
Right.
But you're not friends with them, and then they'll message you or email you or call you hey, you remember that one thing that we were doing? Could you send me a copy of that? And this is supposed to be the time for yourself, and you don't want to do anything regarding that.
Right. Yeah, well, I mean, even if you had texted me, I wouldn't have gotten it because, being on the whole middle of the ocean thing.
See, this is why I might invest in a Raven. I don't know how the ravens just know where to go.
Yeah, it's like the owls in Harry Potter.
That's true.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we have corrections from episode 65, right? No, 64.
No, yeah, 65 was the last one I did.
Oh, so 63. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Can you say that like Jerry
What do you
from
mean?
Parks and Rec? He always goes like, "Oh, jeez."
Oh, jeez. Oh, gee, Rick.
That was really good. That was really good.
Thanks. So first correction here is from our ABCs about Groundskeeper Willie. So,
oh, you went back and checked that.
oh yeah. So you know how we were talking about in his like Wikia entry that like his full title is Dr. Willie whatever. So I looked into it like as much as I could, and I really couldn't find any like solid sources on it. The closest I could find was that it was a name that he gave at Ellis Island, which in itself poses a lot of questions. How old is this man?
Yeah. Also remember that I said when I was talking about Groundskeeper Willie, a lot of his background is contradictory. So you really don't know too much about Groundskeeper Willie. But I remember now what you're talking about. He arrives on Ellis Island. He's like dressed in like, you know, not Victorian, but like late 1800s.
Right.
And he's like really proper and really polite and saying, he just says his name. And then the guy who's at Ellis Island says, "You are now Groundskeeper Willie." He just gave him the job and the name.
Dang. Well, that's weird because, I know this goes back to the whole, like, no solid, like, timeline or anything.
Which I kind of like that about The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like, for most of their characters, they just kind of, befuddle their
whatever
background.
they do. Yeah, because, like you were saying, when he first started working at Springfield Elementary, it was as swim teacher Willie.
Mm.
And then, so the groundskeeper, whatever, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Next thing is we were talking about the voice actor for Hades in the Japanese version of the Kingdom Hearts series. And so it turns out that the guy who voices Hades in the games is actually does a pretty spot on James Woods impression.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here, I have a video. I'll mute the podcast so Brandon knows what I'm talking about.
That's pretty legit.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, I am a little bit disappointed because I was kind of having a little bit of my heart set on the fact that maybe it's, you know,
actually James Woods.
James Woods speaking Japanese.
I wish that is the case too. I was listening to another podcast where they were talking about at D23 Expo, which we'll talk about a little bit in the news segment. They had the cast of the Kingdom Hearts cast come out, and I could have been like misunderstanding what they were saying, but one of the hosts of the show was saying that Tom Hanks' brother does all the voice acting for Woody in the game. Okay. And that he was actually recording the Japanese lines. Mm. So maybe that I don't even know which Kingdom Hearts game that voice clip that we just watched was from, but maybe in Kingdom Hearts 3 they actually got James Woods to do Japanese.
Maybe. Okay,
next correction here is we're talking about New Zealand. I believe, I really doubt that I'm going to be able to remember every single reason why we were correcting these things, but I believe it's because we were talking about Julian Dennison, who is going to be in the upcoming Deadpool 2 film.
Okay.
Anyway, so I was talking about how he's from New Zealand, and I didn't know what you call a person from New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, I remember this now.
So first thing here, this is just a little bit of general knowledge that I'm sure can come in handy some point later in life. There's a word for, like, you know, calling a person from a place. So, like, we're from Houston. We're called Houstonians. So that word is demonym. Okay. So it's like demon, YM. So if you ever need to know that, there you go. So anyway, a person from New Zealand is officially called a New Zealander. However, you can also call them a Kiwi.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's so funny?
I don't know.
Hello, what's wrong with your voice?
Sorry. Just like
kind of sound a little bit like Marge. Like, oh me. That was a little bit more like lemongrab. Yeah. Sorry. See, it's hard because like they have the same thing, but hers is like a pitch lower than lemongrab. Yeah. I can't do it. I can only do lemongrab.
I'm not gonna try more. There you go. But yeah, I remember in Digimon, I want to say it was season 2. They team up with some kid from like Australia
Yeah.
or like Oceania or whatever, and his Digimon partner was Kiwimon, which was like a literal cross between a kiwi bird and a kiwi fruit. Like it was like looked like a fruit, but like with legs and like a beak and everything. It was very weird.
Yeah, I just know that's the nickname that the New Zealand people call themselves. But yeah, they take great pride in being called Kiwis.
Okay. If I ever meet Tamara Morrison, I'll be like, "You old Kiwi son of a bee."
You know, I have a feeling that he would really enjoy that. I honestly do feel like he would enjoy that.
Okay. I doubt I'll ever meet him. But...
He takes you under his wing, trains you in the ways of the bounty hunter. That'd be pretty cool.
Or the ways of Gladiator.
The ways of Gladiator, or the ways of Aquaman, or the ways of...
He's a very talented man.
The ways of the island, like in Moana.
Oh, yeah. Okay, next correction is we're talking about the 6 degrees of separation / Kevin Bacon.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
So the 6
that was so weird.
I know. So the 6 degrees of separation, basically it's been tested, but not concretely proven. There was some mathematician, like I want to say it was like in the 50s or 60s or something, who was like really obsessed with this notion, and like he ran like tests or models or whatever you do to test things in math, and like he came up with something that he thought was pretty solid, but then like he tried to pass it around with his peers to like, you know, get their thoughts on it, and they found a bunch of flaws in it or something. I don't know. And then as far as getting a Ron Howard Kevin Bacon connection, I just totally forgot to do it. So I'm just gonna keep saying this to remind myself to actually put some time into thinking about it, but I don't have one, so sorry. Okay, next correction here is, speaking of the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, I was talking about the tall guy from Jurassic Park. Do you remember that? From Jurassic Park 2, sorry.
Yeah, I do.
So anyway, as soon as I was like listening, like either editing or listening back to it, as soon as I heard it, I was like, duh, it's Vince Vaughn. Like, I don't know why I couldn't think of his name, but anyway. Okay, so then I was talking about the underwater sonic boom.
Yeah.
Underwater sonic boom, because I was wondering how fast Aquaman can swim. So, an underwater sonic boom is actually possible. It's like very hard to achieve just because the resistance of water is so much higher than air or whatever. But it is possible. I was reading like a lot of stuff about like fluid dynamics and like crap like that, and I was like, I'm not understanding any of this. But as far as I could tell, it is possible to have a sonic boom underwater.
What did you get in physics?
I never took physics.
Oh, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah, I took IPC.
I got a C in physics.
Oh dang!
What'd you get in IPC?
I don't remember. Probably like a B or something. Okay. I had Mr. Scott. So
dude, I sucked at physics.
I just didn't like Mr. Scott.
Hope he's not listening.
I doubt it. Anyway, so oh yeah, but I did watch a couple of videos about like slow motion underwater videos of guns being shot underwater. Did I say underwater a bunch? Too many times? Anyway, it looks pretty cool. Yeah. So, if you're into that kind of thing.
Do you want to make the first underwater sonic boom?
No, it's already been done.
I know, but like on a grander scale, like a literal sonic boom, not like I guess that's something like sonic boom, but I'm talking about a real sonic boom.
Sure.
All right.
I'll see what I can do.
We just have to eat a lot of bad Mexican food, then we'll see where it goes from there. I feel like we might shift the tectonic plates of the Earth, but
yeah. Maybe. Funny side
open
note.
Up like a portal, and then we create a Pacific Rim.
Funny side note: when I googled underwater sonic boom, like the first like 5 things that came up were about the game Sonic Boom from the Sonic franchise.
Okay.
I was like, this is not what I'm looking for. That's very unhelpful.
That's the internet for you.
Yep. So then moving on, we talked about the trailer for that Geostorm movie. And so anyway, there's a dude in the Geostorm trailer who says the word Geostorm. And anyway, the actor's name is Jim Sturgess. He was in the movies 21, which I saw a long time ago. I thought it was pretty good. And the movie Across the Universe, which I have not seen. I've heard it's weird, though.
You mean I've seen that multiple times. It has good music.
What?
Wait. Hey, remember that part where I said you're not supposed to be talking?
That was very rude.
Oh my gosh, has this been like an instance where she like, one of the few instances, I'm not saying this has never happened, but where she knows something that we don't.
No, I've heard of the movie. I know what she's talking about.
Like, have you seen it?
No.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, she knows about it better than we do.
She watches weird movies.
It's because I was in choir and it's like a music movie.
You know what's a music movie? Whiplash.
I've also seen that.
Yes, I know. You were here, unfortunately, when we talked about it.
Why you let him talk to me like that?
Anyway, speaking of music movies, we also talked about La La Land because it's
trash. No,
you saw it?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to get a reaction out of you. No, I still have to see it.
Okay. Yeah, because it was an indie movie. That was the correction. So it debuted at the Venice Film Festival on August 32nd, according to my notes. I'm guessing that's 31st, last year. And then it was theatrically released on December 9th, 2016. Yeah, and then I was talking about indie movies and how I'm not really generally a fan. So I just Googled best indie movies, and I came up with a list. I don't want to go like too into detail about this, but of the ones that it like recommended, the ones that I've seen and have enjoyed are Memento, which we talked about a lot, obviously. Pulp Fiction, which I don't really know if that counts as an indie movie. Like, I don't really know too much about the distinction, admittedly, but it doesn't seem like an indie movie to me. Anyway, Machete, love that movie.
Yeah, Machete.
Yeah. Juno.
Oh, I have to see that one. I haven't seen that yet.
The Usual Suspects, which I think I like that movie. I still don't know. I've seen it like 3 times, and I still don't know how I feel about it. Whiplash, which, I mean, come on.
Adjust our tempo.
Yep. And It Follows is an indie movie.
Oh, I have to rewatch that.
Oh, yeah.
I still don't know where I stand with that movie.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I still have to watch it again.
It's on Netflix, so.
Oh, is it?
Uh-huh.
Nice.
So was he there when we watched it?
Yeah, I was there.
I'm sorry, I don't even remember.
There's a picture of us hugging.
Oh, I remember. That was when our friendship became real.
Was that after our trip from Car Station?
Yeah.
When we were stuck in the car for God knows how long.
You loved it.
So anyway, talked about Attack on Titan Season 3 coming next year. I was saying, like, I thought that Attack on Titan Season 1 was longer than Season 2, and so it was really just, they, like, split up Season 2 and Season 3 to make it, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anyway, I was actually right. Season 1 was 25 episodes, and Season 2 was only 12 episodes.
Good job. Nice.
Then, I don't remember why we were talking about this, but we were talking about a game from CartoonNetwork.com, Dexter's Lab game, where you're trying to find the runaway robot. Because we were talking about that weird Japanese game where the mom takes the kid's 3DS and hides it.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I remember that.
So anyway, I went back.
I remember just being so mad at you for making me watch it.
So I went back to CartoonNetwork.com, and they actually still have it, and it's actually playable. Quick side note: they have pretty much all their games still on their website, but a lot of them, for some reason, like, they just won't work. I don't know if it's my computer. I don't think it is, because I tried it like on my parents' computer, like their desktop, and it didn't work there either. So I don't know what the deal is. But fortunately, this one did, for whatever reason, decide to work. Still super fun. Still super predictable. Which, is fine. Like, I didn't want to, like, sit there for an hour trying to figure out this game. Like, I was done with it in 5 minutes, and I had a very enjoyable 5 minutes. But anyway, correction is, I was talking about how there are special glasses that you find to help you find the robot. And so I said heat vision, X-ray, and night vision. I forgot, however, there are Geiger glasses, which allow you to see radioactive signatures. So, yeah. Anyway, super fun game. Go check it out. Everyone should go play it. And then CartoonNetwork.com will, like, look at their, like, games played, and they'll see, like, this huge spike in this random game from, like, 10 years ago and be like, what's that about? And then they'll find out it was all us.
Yeah, and then they'll do another season of Young Justice for that.
Okay.
Even though, the Cartoon Network had nothing to do with season 3 of Young Justice, but...
No, if they did a new season of Dexter's Lab, that would be pretty rad.
Yeah.
Like adult Dexter.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, it would.
I feel like that'd just be weird.
What if he was like
Even
an
though
adult, but he like didn't grow, like he was the same size, and Dee Dee was just like 8 feet tall.
Oh my gosh. Like a really like gritty version of, Dexter's Laboratory.
Isn't that just Breaking Bad?
You can make the argument. So, wait, Dee Dee is Jesse Pinkman?
No, that's weird. No, wouldn't she? Well, I was gonna say she would be Skylar, but that's even weirder.
Yeah, no, man, no.
Yeah, I don't know who she would be.
This is another fanfic for another time.
Oh, she could be Wendy.
Wendy?
Prostitute.
Wendy?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Anyway, moving on. We were talking about the passing of Stanley's wife, whose first name I can't remember off the top of my head. Joan. Anyway, I mentioned that she voiced a character in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, and it's Madam Web. I said I wasn't sure if it was Madam Web or Madam Spider, but it's Madam Web. So yeah, that's cool stuff. Then we did our thoughts about John Wick Chapter 2, and we couldn't remember the name of the mechanic guy from the movie. His name is...
Sid the Sloth.
Yeah. Or Luigi.
Yeah.
No, his name is Aurelio. Or Aurelio, if you want to be all Hispanic. Actually, he could be Italian, I don't really know.
He's going to be really, really ethnic about it.
Yeah. Okay, then we did our fanfic fight between Albert Wesker and Agent Smith, and I was talking about how Wesker has a gun, and I said I thought it was a Desert Eagle. I was way off. It's a Beretta 92F custom, also known as the Samurai Edge.
That's very intense. It makes no sense to me.
No, it does not.
Yeah.
Final correction is, I don't remember the exact context, but I said that Agent Smith is a zombie when I clearly meant to say that Wesker is basically a zombie. So that's all the corrections from that episode. So moving on to the next episode. Okay, so in the next episode, which was episode 64, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're right. 64
okay.
is this one, yeah. It's okay. Just take your time. I know you've been out of the game for a little bit, but, you're back. It's just like the episode of Spongebob when he didn't know, he forgot how to make a Krabby Patty. And then Mr. Krabs has to train him to regain his mojo and teach him how to do it again. You got this, Alex. Don't worry, you got this.
So anyway, that was the special episode that we recorded with Brandon, Robin, Catherine, John Paul. So anyway, I was saying that Princess Bride might be my movie I've seen the most times in my life, and I still think that's the case. However, another movie that I forgot to consider is White Christmas, which I've seen exactly 24 times in my life.
You know the exact amount.
Yeah, I watch it once a year at Christmas time. No more, no less.
Okay.
So, and I'm pretty confident in saying that I've seen Princess Bride more than that, but I don't watch Princess Bride every year, and I definitely watch White Christmas every year. So eventually I think White Christmas will be number 1 and Princess Bride will be number 2.
That's fair.
Then we were talking about The Night at the Roxbury, and I was talking about how there was that one dude who marries Molly Shannon at the very end of the movie. So the actor's name is Locklyn Munro.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we talked about Molly Shannon a little bit more, and in Wet Hot American Summer, how she's romantically involved with a bunch of people. And I think we mentioned everybody except for at the beginning of the prequel series, First Day of Camp, I think it's called. She is dating the cook, whose name is Jean. There's a whole backstory there, but I won't go into it because we don't have that much time. However, I also want to say that H. John Benjamin is in that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
He's the voice of Bob Belcher.
Yeah.
And, of course, his only son's name is Gene. So that's a weird connection there.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Then we talked about Rent for some reason. I think we were talking about Idina Menzel. And Rent debuted in 1993 as a workshop. And then on January 25th, 1996, it premiered off-Broadway, and then later that same year, it went to Broadway.
Okay, I thought it was next door. That's what I was like.
So I don't really know what any of that means. Like, I know what Broadway is, and I know what off-Broadway means. I don't exactly know the difference between two and, like, physical location. But I have no idea what workshop means and why that doesn't count as the real debut, even though it was, like, the same thing. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. Moving on, we talked about the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones.
You're welcome.
So that was actually not even a season finale. That was episode 9 of season 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. And then we talked about Gilmore Girls and how Richard and Emily Gilmore renewed their vows at one point. So that also wasn't a season finale. That was season 5, episode 13.
Oh, by the way, so to answer your question about the workshop, so in theater terms, that's like, it's like you're putting on the production, but it's not to its fullest. So you still incorporate like different props and costumes and routines, but it's not like in its complete form yet. It's still like not quite the skeleton, but it's not quite the whole thing fleshed out yet. So you just kind of have things going about it. So there's a lot of room for improvement.
Okay, so that's like before previews. Okay,
it's not even like in the form of a play or production yet. Like,
but like there's like an audience and everything.
Yeah, people can attend those. Yeah,
interesting.
But also like it sounds like it's a workshop, so you come and
right
do stuff with it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it took them a long time to work out the kinks, but I guess it worked for them because it's like one of the most famous musicals of all time. So, okay, then we talked about Fairly Odd Parents.
I forgot this is mentioned.
So the other fairy that we were talking about, his name is Juanísimo Magnifico.
Can you do that with the accent now?
Juanísimo Magnifico.
Very nice.
And something that I never realized before this was the pun in his name. Because I always thought it was like wand, like, a magic wand, Dissimo, but it's actually Juan, like the name, like Hispanic name, Juan, which I thought was very clever. Then we talked about SpongeBob for some reason, probably just because we were talking about Fairly Odd Parents.
Of course we have to talk about SpongeBob.
So, Mr. Krabs' wife, basically nothing's known about her.
Yeah.
She's been referenced, like, it's not like, Pearl just, like, popped out of thin air, but we don't know if she was a crab or if she was a whale. We don't know if Pearl is adopted or not. Like, there's just not enough solid evidence to make that assumption or prediction. So, it's just a mystery.
The world will never know.
Yeah, I mean, like, the article that I was reading, they've, like, people have asked the creator or, like, writer or whatever, like, are you ever going to say anything about Mr. Krabs' wife or Pearl's mom or whatever? He said no. Like, they want to keep it a mystery. So, I guess I respect that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still weird, but... then we talked about how I thought Mr. Krabs only adopted a daughter to get the tax breaks of having a dependent. And then that got us into a whole discussion of the politics of Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Whether or not there even was a government in place. So it turns out there is. And it's a little unclear, though. Bikini Bottom has been mentioned to have a mayor, a president, and a king.
Okay.
Not necessarily all at the same time. Like they've like regressed to a monarchy at some point. Well, I guess it kind of depends on your point of view if that's regression or
I was about to say, but I'm like, no, that's a pretty sensitive thing to say, so I might not say that.
Yeah, they shifted from a democracy to a monarchy at some point, and Patrick became the king.
What?
Well, actually, I guess I should say, like, there have been, like, non-chronological episodes, just, like, random ones, like, it's the same setting in a different time period, and there was also monarchy, and I believe there was, like, Mr. Krabs' ancestor was king, but then there's another episode where, like, Patrick became king. I don't know.
Isn't King Neptune, like...
Yeah, but, like, that's not, like, Bikini Bottom. That's, like, the whole ocean.
Well, people still have to respect him, though.
And, yeah, I guess. Look, man, I don't know. I don't watch enough SpongeBob to be able to tell you. I'm just telling you what I read online.
Okay.
Then we talked about... Oh, this is from the fanfic fight. Because Catherine said that the name of the Kim Possible movie was A Stitch in Time,
Mhm.
which it's not. It's A Stitch in Time because, you know, her like catchphrase or whatever is always like, what's the sitch? And Catherine said, oh, that's right. That's the name of the Lilo and Stitch movie. However, that's also incorrect. The second movie, like the direct sequel to Lilo and Stitch, was Stitch the movie. Then there's a TV movie called Leroy and Stitch.
That's right.
And there was another, like, I think straight-to-video movie called Lilo and Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch.
Mm-hmm.
I was also, when I was doing this, they're in, like, pre-production of a new anime series.
Okay.
Called Stitch and I. It's like AI.
Mm.
It's about a Chinese girl who adopts Stitch or something. Like, she comes into contact with Stitch.
Okay.
Anyway, it's Lilo and Stitch without Lilo, which is really weird.
Dang, that's...
Also, is that an anime if it's from China? Like, it's only anime if it comes from Japan, right? Or would you call it Chinese anime instead
You
of
know
just
what?
anime?
I actually don't know. I've never thought about that. That's a good thing to look into.
Okay. Because I know there's, like, people who say, like, oh, Avatar The Last Airbender, it should be classified as an anime, but because it's from America, not Japan, like, people don't consider it an anime,
Yeah.
which, I don't know. I think at some point, like, it's, like, why we've been having this argument, but that's also coming
because
from me.
you know, this podcast can exist, so we can talk about the actual questions that need to be addressed in real life.
Yeah. Okay, 2 more corrections. The first one is that Kim Possible ended on September 7th, 2007. So almost exactly 10 years, or getting close to it, which is pretty weird, gotta say. And the final correction, which actually isn't really a correction, I guess, is Wade, Kim's very own man in the chair, or guy in the chair. What was that it?
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah.
Even though it's never explicitly stated where his hometown is, the Kim Possible Wikia lists his hometown as Middleton. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say. Just going to leave it at that.
Okay. All
right. So that's it from that episode. Just a couple corrections from the last episode. One is that you called The Walking Dead a very good show, and that's incorrect.
I am going to unplug this microphone right now if you continue this train of thought. I thought we settled that discussion.
Look, I respect your opinion.
You want me to still be on this podcast?
I respect your opinion, but I cannot in good conscience say it's a very good show.
You just gave me a no. No, you do not want me to be on this show anymore. Fine, you know what I'm going to say in good conscience? Iron Man 3 was amazing.
You haven't even seen
I
it.
can say that with good confidence. What else?
That's actually, I think that was the only
You know what? That actually might be my favorite correction of all time. You know, because I might just get Kevin to start photoshopping your face on a bunch of Walking Dead stuff.
Okay, have fun with that.
Call it The Walking Alex.
Have you ever seen The Walking Thread?
No, I haven't.
Okay. All right, we're going to take a break. I'm going to show Brandon this funny video and a bunch of other trailers, and then we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. Before we get to the trailers, and we do have a bunch of trailers to talk about, one other, like, not really correction, but just comment I wanted to make about the last episode Brandon did with the guys is the Pokémon GO Fest. Yes, it was a nightmare. I'm glad I didn't want to go there. Not only was I going to be out of the country, but it just didn't seem like it was worth it to me. And I'm glad I didn't because it turned into such a fiasco. But you guys were all saying how you gave up on the game like very quickly and how like nobody like plays it anymore basically. Well, I play it every single day. I still get lots and lots of enjoyment out of it. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. Anyway, so we've got a bunch of trailers to talk about. Before we get to the ones we watched just now, I wanted to give some really quick thoughts on the ones that you guys talked about last week since I didn't get a chance. Thor Ragnarok looks really weird. Like so much different from any other Thor movie, which is kind of a good thing and kind of a bad thing. It just feels very like it doesn't really know what it wants to do. They're just going for a very different tone. And it feels more like a Guardians movie than a Thor movie. And like, yeah, the Guardians movies are great. Like everybody loves those, but like, they need to be their own thing from the Thor movies. And like, here we saw like Thor and Loki like shooting guns and there's like a lot of like laser fire going on. And I'm like, this is not what I want from a Thor movie. But anyway, the Justice League trailer, it was okay. I don't know. I really cannot see myself enjoying this movie. It's just...
You're still gonna watch it, though.
I'm gonna watch it, but they're just too far gone for them to redeem themselves.
Did you ever see Wonder Woman?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I'll watch it before Justice League comes out, but I don't know.
You gotta catch it in theaters before it gets out.
Really? It's that good?
I think, well, I mean...
It's that movie-worthy?
I do think it... I mean, yeah.
I don't know if it's... I don't even know if it's still in theaters, honestly.
It is.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. I know you spend money on a lot worse.
That's true. What?
We have no money.
What about the Dollar Theater? Is that acceptable?
So
I've been there before.
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean?
I love the Dollar
Theater.
The Dollar Theater by my house is sketch.
Yeah, that's how they make it $1.
Yeah.
I actually think it's $2 now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn it. You did it for a little bit, and then you got a little bit greedy.
Maybe the matinee is $1.
Maybe. The Defenders.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous.
The Defenders trailer I liked a lot. I'm looking forward to that show quite a bit. The Stranger Things trailer also looks really good. I really like how they're like focusing a lot on Will and like him adjusting to normal life or however that's going to play out. When I was watching it though, part of me was like, oh man, I kind of wish they just left it like at one season. Like it was really nice, like short story. Yeah. It was a really great package and I really loved it. And like part of me wants to see more and part of me wants to be like, like it was like basically perfect the way it was. I don't know if I need more of this. So like, I'm not sad that I'm getting more. Like, I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm sure it's going to be great. But part of me is like, ugh, maybe like there could be too much of a good thing. And that's it. That's all I want to talk about. So, on to the trailers we just watched. So the first one is Ready Player One. I know you guys talked about it a little bit, but like Austin was the only one who had really seen it. You hadn't seen it, and I want to talk about it a little bit more because I hadn't seen it. So Ready Player One is a book based off of a book. I don't really know what the book's about. I haven't read it. Have you? Yeah, I didn't think so.
I didn't know this thing existed until last week.
It's like in the future, and like it's about a kid who like.
Okay, you like listed so many tropes already.
He like goes into like the digital world, the virtual world. Yeah. It's like VR on crack.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like Spy Kids 3 when they like get sucked into the game. Yeah, I was really confused what was happening.
Me too. I mean, visually it looks awesome. It really does.
Yeah, but then like the Iron Giant was there. That was really weird.
Somebody was riding a scorpion.
I think it was a chameleon.
It looked like a scorpion.
It was definitely a scorpion.
Okay, whatever.
I just know it had machine guns on it.
Yeah. And they were playing the Willy Wonka theme music.
And then Azog the Defiler was in there.
Yeah. It was
not actually him, but there's a guy that looked a lot like Azog the Defiler.
Yeah. It was very interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about this. It's just like a very weird mishmash of all kinds of weird things. And I don't know, like I guess that's kind of what the book's deal is. Because, like, at the beginning it said, like, based off of, like, the author's names, like, Holy Grail of Pop Culture, is that what it said? So, I guess that's, like, the conceit of the book, but I don't know. Anywho, then we watched the trailer for Blade Runner 2049, and again, like, I have no idea what was going on in this trailer. I don't know why I keep, like, listing this for us to talk about. Like, so I've said before, I've watched the original Blade Runner, and it just was not my kind of movie. But even, like, taking that away, like, if this was, like, its own IP, or I had never watched it before, or I'd never seen the original Blade Runner, like, this still wouldn't look like that interesting of a movie to me, I don't think. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's telling a very interesting story, or doing anything very original with its storytelling. You know, like, cinematically and, like, visually, it looks pretty impressive, but I can't really say much more for it other than that. I mean, Ryan Gosling's in it, I guess there's that. But Jared Leto's also in it, so that kind of drags it down. So, I don't know. Okay, after that we watched the trailer for Kingsman: The Golden Circle. This was... I liked the trailer.
It was interesting.
Yeah. Basically, Julianne Moore blows up the Kingsman headquarters, and so they have to go to the United States to work with their U.S. counterparts, the Statesmen, which I found them pretty humorous.
Yeah, I did get a pretty good chuckle out of it.
I did not find it humorous that they were all, like, stereotypical Texans. Like, the United States is a big place with a lot of different personalities. Like, I don't know why it can't be, like, a big group of them.
Maybe that particular headquarters is in Texas.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so, yeah, Jeff Bridges is, like, the leader of the Statesmen, and then Channing Tatum and...
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. Oh, I thought his name was... I'm not going to say it. That would make me sound racist.
What were you going to say?
I thought his name was Pablo for some reason.
That wouldn't... That seems pretty...
Yeah, Pedro, Pablo.
Yeah, I mean, like, it fits him. He looks like a Pablo.
Yeah. But yeah, and he was doing a Texas accent, which was really weird. Although,
it was good.
Yeah.
It was really... I was not expecting that. Mostly because, like, when he does his role as Oberyn Martell, he has, like, a very... How would you describe it?
Like, I always thought of him as, like, Spanish.
Yeah, because Dorn is, like, a mix between Mediterranean and Spain.
Yeah.
He has a very, like... I don't know how to describe it.
Wait, where's the actor from? Do you know?
He's Chilean.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, so basically it's like the characters from the first movie, the ones that didn't die, plus one that did die, although I won't say anything else. Although it's probably not that hard to figure out. Plus,
I haven't seen it yet.
Plus all of these Yankees, as the Brits would say, working together to stop Julianne Moore. And, yeah, I don't know. It looks entertaining.
I did like Pedro Pascal's laser lasso or whatever it was. Like, he like... I guess bisect is the right word. Like he cuts a guy in half with his lasso. I was like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
And it showed the trailer showed that the guy can cut it in half.
So yeah.
You know what I always like? I've noticed, either on the podcast or in real life, whenever I really do get stressed out by something, that's the only time, besides doing lemon grab, where my voice will naturally hit a high note. Aside from that, I can't do it.
Okay.
But if I talk about something, I get really into it and get really stressed, or I need to emphasize, my voice would go high.
That reminds me when we were at my bachelor party, we did the escape room. I think we talked about that on the show, right?
Did we? I don't know, actually.
Whatever. Anyway, it's too late. If you want to know about my bachelor party, send in an email and I'll tell you all about it. But
I'll tell you about it.
So the first thing we did was go to an escape room, and we got teamed up with 4 black ladies who were there to do the same escape room. What? Anyway, so the guy who's working there, we're all sitting in the room, like, about to get briefed on the story of the room. And we're all sitting there, and the guy working there asked us to introduce ourselves. So Brandon, I think you were first.
I was first,
right?
yeah.
And he says, "Hi, my name's Brandon." And one of the ladies is like on the other side of the room. She starts laughing. She's like, "I'm sorry, I just didn't expect your voice to be so deep." And Brandon just goes, "Yeah, I get that a lot." And yeah, I don't think I'd ever seen that happen before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's pretty funny. They were really nice though. They were really cool.
Yeah,
they were really cool. I remember when we were saying goodbye, they're like, "Bye, deep voice." I'm like, "Bye."
So anyway, the next trailer we watched was for Pacific Rim. And I'm actually not sure what the subtitle of this movie is. It's either Uprising or Jaeger Uprising. Regardless, it's not Jaeger or Pacific Rim Maelstrom, which I believe we had previously reported that it was.
It was originally.
Yeah. So I don't know when that changed, but I think it's just Uprising. Yeah. So anyway, basically, it was like a teaser. It wasn't a real trailer.
It was like a mix between a teaser and like propaganda a little bit.
Yeah,
like you know, back in World War II when they had to really, really support the war effort, they would like showcase the might of American military.
Right.
And I got that a lot from it. But it was also kind of mixed between like a video game kind of feel to it too. And I don't know, I like the trailer. Uh-huh. The trailer was pretty cool. I want a Jaeger now.
Who wouldn't want a Jaeger?
I mean, it's encouraging us to stop the apocalypse. I'm sorry, cancel the apocalypse. It's been a while since I've used that.
Yeah, so basically, like, all that happens is there's this very clearly female, but very robotic, computerized voice. It sounds very reminiscent of GLaDOS from the Portal series, or Brandon thought BMO from Adventure Time. Maybe like they're both females. Well, BMO doesn't have a gender. Yeah. Maybe it's like the child of GLaDOS and BMO. That's kind of terrifying. Anyway, just like saying all these things about Jaegers and like humanity and whatever, and just showing these like images of different Jaegers, and at the end it has John Boyega's character come up and say, "Join the Jaeger uprising." But
can you do it in his accent?
No, I'm not going to.
Come on, do it. Do it. Come on.
The weird thing was that he had a mustache, which Idris Elba's character in the first movie had.
But although it's not as prominent.
Right, which is weird. Like, they should either, keep the like the whole mustache, like, even if he can't grow one. Yeah. Like, I doubt Idris Elba's,
no,
that might be a real mustache.
The man can grow facial hair. He's got a pretty sweet beard.
Yeah.
It's weird to see him without facial hair, though. Because I've seen him in interviews where he just doesn't have it, and it's weird. It's really weird.
Anyway, so they should either give him a fake mustache that's, like, full, or just have him clean shaven. Like, I know that he's the guy's son, but, like, I don't feel like the mustache is really enough by itself to convey that.
Are we really going to start arguing about John Boyega's mustache right now?
It just wasn't a very flattering mustache.
I'm sorry. Do you know how hard it is to rock a mustache? Very few people can do it.
That's true.
Like, Idris Elba can do it. Ron Swanson or Nick Offerman can do it. Mm-hmm. Very few other people can do it. I mean, like Pedro Pascal and this past trailer for Kingsman, he did it pretty well. Mm-hmm. Who else can do it?
Salvador Dali.
Yeah, he can. I don't really know where I stand with him. Like, his art's cool, but as a person, he's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I've come to realize that about a lot of artists. I've admired their work, but as people, I don't know where I stand with them.
What about Martin Freeman in Sherlock?
I was okay with it.
Or Jude Law.
He does it really well. He does it really well.
Anyway, we could sit here all day and think about people with mustaches, but we're not going to.
Will Ferrell.
No. Oh, General Ross in
that's true.
The Hulk movies. Anyway.
Why doesn't Red Hulk have a mustache?
That's a good question. I guess he ditched it.
It's like tears it off every time he turns into Hulk.
So yeah, that's Pacific Rim 2. I really liked the first one a lot. When we were on the ship, we were getting ready for dinner, and I was just sitting around while Robin was in the shower, and Pacific Rim was on. I was watching a little bit of it.
Didn't that creep you out?
Still holds up. What?
Because you're out in sea and the
when
monsters.
You're showering. Oh.
Oh, what?
I thought it was like we're surrounded by water, but there's water like. I see what you're saying.
I see what you're saying now.
No, I actually didn't think about it. I think if I had, it probably would have freaked me out. Although I feel like the Gulf of Mexico is pretty safe because it's, surrounded.
Okay.
Anywho, yeah, I really like the first one a lot, so I'm looking forward to the second one. After that, we watched the new trailer for It, and I don't know who's keeping count of these trailers, but this is the third one we've watched and talked about, but Warner Brothers seems to think this is the first one they've shown, so they need to talk to their marketing department or something, because someone showed a bunch of other trailers that they didn't know about. But anywho,
watch that actually is the deal, and they're like, "Crap, what happened?" We are not prepared to release this movie.
I think this movie looks genuinely terrifying. I'm not one. I don't generally watch scary movies, and when I do, I do it during the day with all the lights on.
Wimp.
Yeah, I'm a total wimp.
That's okay. I honestly don't really watch scary movies.
Yeah.
I still remember when I saw The Witch, I was quivering.
Oh, you mean...
I was with you!
No, that was not the first time I watched it.
You mean I was with you the second time you watched it.
The Witch.
Still haven't seen it.
Still never gets old. Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about it other than it just looks really weird and really scary.
I did like how you said about Mike from Stranger Things. Finn, what's his last name? Wolf?
I don't know.
It's a Wolf something. But yeah, you said that when he grows up he's going to be really messed up because he's in all of these terrifying things. Stranger Things, this movie, he's going to be
he's going to have a rough life. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown too, she's in Stranger Things and she's going to be in the new Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
But that's kind of scary. So, I don't know. Yeah, just a weird trailer. Just watch it. Or don't if you're not a fan of those kind of things. Then we watched the trailer for... I don't know if it's A Wrinkle in Time or just Wrinkle in Time. But it's... I was thinking when I was watching it, it's this is a Disney version of Interstellar. Which is not a compliment. It's weird time travel, spacey, kind of fantasy. Just very... bizarre. I really wasn't following what was happening. Chris Pine is a scientist, and Oprah Winfrey is a fairy godmother, magical queen.
She's an Asgardian.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. And there's this black girl who has to go on a quest for something, and I was just really confused.
Why did you have to say it like that?
What?
Huh?
How come every time there's a black person, you have to say that they're a black person?
Did you see that Mindy Kaling is in this?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. Zach Galifianakis.
Oh yeah, I don't like Mindy Kaling, so
really,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know what this movie's about.
Yeah, it's weird.
I mean, visually it looks pretty neat, but that's a lot of trailers I've come to really notice. Visually, it's okay.
Yeah.
Actuality, I'm debatable.
Yeah, I mean, it's I was thinking that Disney is sci-fi is not really Disney's thing. They should stick to fairy tales or fan. I don't know what you would call Beauty and the Beast. Obviously fairy tale movie, fantasy romance, I guess. And this just does not seem to mesh with Disney's image.
Did you ever watch Tomorrowland?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and I liked it a lot. Rob and I both did. I think we were kind of in the minority on that one. And, Tomorrowland definitely had some problems.
Was it George Clooney?
No. I thought he was a good part of that movie.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know why I called out George Clooney. I have nothing against him.
Do you know anyone else in that movie?
No.
Hugh Laurie was in it.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So was Key. Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key was in it?
No, Keegan-Michael Key.
Oh, they're excited.
But not Peel.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, no. Do you remember from Parks and Rec the political advisor who helps the Paul Rudd's character try to win the city councilman thing? Yeah. She's in it.
Okay.
They're married, her and Key.
That's a weird combination.
Whatever. Yeah, it was. Well, spoilers, they're actually not people, they're robots. Okay. So, anyway. Wrinkle in Time, I don't know. I don't know.
Barely nothing about the trailer itself.
Yeah. And after that, we watched the newest trailer for the Inhumans show / IMAX release. This was also like a little bit hard to follow, I thought. Like it was kind of all over the place a little bit. I still really liked it. Like I thought it was entertaining, but I also, am more knowledgeable about what I'm supposed to be looking for than your average viewer. This was an SDCC trailer, so you would think that the people who were there are probably going to be more cued into what's going on. So I guess that kind of makes sense, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to this show a lot. So I hope it lives up to my expectations, which it might not. So
that's very optimistic.
Then we watched the trailer for the Starfire DLC coming to Injustice 2. She looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do have one nitpick on her design, which is that her hair is on fire at the end for some reason.
That was weird, but I was okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad. Yeah. It's not distracting. It's just kind of a weird
I've never
choice.
Seen it done before like that.
Other than that, she looked pretty cool. Yeah. She had a good mix. Well, no, it was mostly like ranged attacks, using her star bolts or whatever.
I do like, there's a lot of diving whenever she's up in the air, and you can dive and kind of punch your opponent or pick them up and throw them away.
Yeah. So.
And her super move was fine. I mean, it wasn't fantastic, but it was still good enough.
Yeah, I agree.
It reminded me of Superman's from the first one when he punches you up.
Yeah, kind of.
And then she starts throwing star bolts at you. And you go into an asteroid field and she just kind of explodes. And then I was like, okay, that part was pretty cool. Yeah. I like that. She destroys an entire region of space just for you.
Yep.
Speaking of space, so the other day I went to the Science Museum and I went to the planetarium. And I was watching a thing about black holes. And when I was watching the animation, I thought, this is absolutely terrible. Like, I spent $9 on this.
Were they talking about spaghettification?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we got to that point. Then I started freaking out a lot because already I was a little bit on edge because even though the animation was not that great, the scope and the angles of everything that they did, the whole thing was pretty good. So when they brought the viewer into the perspective of the black hole, and they brought us more into it, and it showed what's like being on the inside and just watching everything getting sucked in, I'm like, okay, this is really creepy. So when they were talking about spaghettification, then they got really, really creepy because they just showed this model astronaut just stretching.
Right.
And just talking about like how at that point, like, you just continue stretching until your atoms dissolve and you just like break down and enter the black hole and that's it. And I thought, wow, okay.
I just want to point out, for someone who never gets a day off, you go to a ton of museums.
Yeah, I had to make the time for that.
I'm just saying, always on Snapchat, you're at a museum.
I'm not on Snapchat that often.
You are when you're at the museums.
I post a lot of pictures when I'm there, but I'm not there all the time. And plus, I get in for free with the student ID.
Think I could still pull that off?
I still do mine.
Does it work?
Yeah, I don't think I've had any problems with it whenever I've tried to use it. I mean, you just show it to them like really quick. They don't really usually look at the expiration date.
The morality of that is up to you, but that's it works.
Cool student discounts we'll get next year in New York.
Oh, true.
You get to ride the subway for free.
There's no subway up there. There's a bus.
Yeah, which we already get to ride for free.
Welcome to my life.
I hate the bus. Anyway, Starfire. So then we watched the trailer for newest trailer for Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
I forget. You know, we've seen a lot of footage and trailers of this game, and I mean they do this in other fighting games and other previous editions of Marvel vs. Capcom. But I don't know why. Maybe I'm just more attuned to it today. But they talk so much.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much talking.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm trying to think about in MVC3 how much there is. I don't think there's as much, but this is also like a trailer. We don't know how true that'll be in the actual game.
That's true. But I was like playing it in my head and I thought, can I even talk that fast just sitting down? Like, regardless, or not even considering they're jumping around, shooting things at each other, punching each other, and doing acrobatic feats one can only hope to imagine to do. I don't even think I can talk that much in one sentence.
Yeah, I don't know if I could either. So we got some new character reveals. They were actually all returning characters with the exception of 2 who we already knew were going to be in the game. So we got, I'm not even going to be able to remember, Hagar, my boy Nemesis, Frank West, Spider-Man, and then Gamora and Thanos. And there's not too much to talk about. It was just a lot of, movement, fighting, whatever, to show off a little bit more of the Infinity Stones and how that works and some combos and whatever. They all look pretty much, or the first 4 characters pretty much all look the same. Frank West was one of my favorite characters to watch in MVC3. He has this really unique in-battle level up system, so it's not like it carries over. Like when every match starts, like he started level 1, and there's this invisible experience meter. Well, they actually might include one in this game, but in the last game, there's this invisible experience meter, and you're like the length of your combo as it built up. And you took a picture in the games. He's from the Dead Rising games. He's a photographer, so you would take a picture, and that would total up your experience, and then you would get to level whatever based on how much experience you had at that point, and that would give him access to better weapons and moves and stuff. So yeah, I really like Frank. I think he's a unique, very fun to watch character, so I hope he's still a pretty good tier in this game. And then everybody else looked very similar to how they have been. Gamora looks really strange in this game. Like this game is not, part of the MCU, like it's not canon or anything, but we've talked about how all the Marvel characters are being drawn from the MCU and more reminiscent of their MCU counterparts in this game than from previous games. But Gamora just looks so different than she does from the Guardians films. It's very off-putting to me.
That design, I have seen like elements of it in comics.
Yeah.
So it's not totally inaccurate.
Yeah, I'm not saying I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a lot different than what you're used to. Yeah.
And her voice actor too,
yeah.
or actress, is pretty different too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it's weird, but the art style I thought worked better in game, like in combat, than they did like when we were watching the cinematic trailers a few weeks ago. So I guess that makes me a little bit more positive on the game. So I'm just ready for it to get out. I've been watching interviews from Marvel, so they are slanted, but from like top professional players that I've known like from the scene for a long time, and they seem pretty positive on the game. So that makes me feel more confident in it living up to the previous game. So we'll just have to see. When EVO rolls around next year, I think it'll be interesting. All right, final trailer for this week was Kingdom Hearts 3. This is a very long, partially story, partially gameplay trailer. They showed off a little bit of stuff first with it was like Olympus, I think, more Olympus, and some other place, I don't even remember, whatever. But then they arrived in the Toy Story world, Andy's bedroom specifically, and they fight some Heartless, and then they meet up with Woody and Buzz and Rex and Ham and some of the LGMs and some of the army men, and they talk about some Kingdom Hearts story that I'm not going to even bother trying to decipher. And they're like, okay, we got to go to this toy store, which is not Alice Toy Barn for whatever reason.
Yeah, because he was put out of business.
No, he wasn't. At the end of the movie, remember, he's still making a commercial for his store.
I thought they were going out of sale.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm willing to believe that he went out of business after that, but at the end of the movie, they do show that he still has the store.
Okay. I'm going to look this up right now.
Okay. We also didn't see where the timeline of this movie takes place. It could be, it's clearly after Toy Story 1 because Buzz is there and he and Woody are friends.
Yeah.
But it could be anywhere in between then or after Toy Story 3. There's no way to tell. Well, no, actually, I take that back. The 3 little green men are there from Toy Story 2, so it's got to be after Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
So it might be after Toy Story 3. Anyway, so yeah, this game looks really good, like very high def. Especially the only other Kingdom Hearts game I played was the first one that was for PS2, and it still looks okay, but like this looks.
You see, like the upgrade.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, other thing I wanted to say is the combat looks very funky in this game.
Really? I thought it looked good. I'm not used to it.
Right. No, yeah, I 100% agree with that. Like in the first game, combat was probably one of the weakest parts of it for me. Like, it's just very repetitive. You're just like, when I was playing it, I was just swinging my key like with the same like combo and mashing my fire magic attacks, and it just got very boring and repetitive. And this looks like you have a ton of different weapons. It's almost God of War-esque.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
Not quite as fluid, I don't think. That was kind of one of the main hang-ups I had. But, like you're like changing up your weapons all the time. They all have like these different attributes and whatever. And yeah, so it looks more varied than the first game, but just kind of, I was lost because there was so much going on. All right, so that's it for the trailers. So let's move on to a bit of news here.
Is it good news?
It is good news. It's a lot of news, too.
Correct.
So I'll probably just go ahead and say now, we're not going to do a feature topic just because we have so much to catch up on between me being gone and...
Oh, what? Really?
What?
We're gonna kick out the feature topic for news?
Oh, I mean, if you want to go hardcore,
bro, okay, but, it's up to you. You're back.
All right,
you're in charge.
Let's see how we feel after we get done with the news. Anyway, so since we had like our last regular episode, and now, well, if you want to count last week as a regular episode, then episode 63. Between episode 63 and now, we had SDCC, D23, Evo, and there was another con too, I think, since then. Regardless, like there's been a ton of stuff going on, so there's a lot of news to talk about. I actually omitted a bunch of stuff that I didn't think was very interesting, just to try and keep the number of news items down. First one to talk about though is the casting announcements for New Warriors finally came out. So really quickly we'll go through them. Milana Vaintrub. She's from This Is Us, which I've heard is okay. She's gonna play Squirrel Girl. So that's cool. I don't particularly think she looks very much like Squirrel Girl.
Is this her right here?
Yeah.
I think she can do it. Are you used to more like the curly or wavy hair?
Well, A, redhead, and B, Squirrel Girl's not that pretty. I don't know how to say that and make it not sound terrible, but
you're full of terrible things to say today.
This is your husband.
That doesn't mean he can't be terrible.
I was in y'all's wedding. This is what I have to go through. Oh my goodness.
Craig Hollis as Mr. Immortal. Jeremy Tardy as Night Thrasher. Callum Worthy as Speedball. Matthew Moy as Microbe. And Kate Comer as Debris. We talked about all of these characters and their various powers a long time ago. I'm not going to rehash all that.
I do like the thing they said for Debris. She's a low-level telekinetic. Very low. Like she can move a paper cup. That's so sad.
Hey, I would kill to be able to move a paper cup with my mind.
Try to like bring a cup to you. What happens if it's a plastic cup?
Uh-oh. It's too much.
That's how you train every day.
Yeah. So the only one of these people that I know at all is Microbe. He's on this show called Two Broke Girls, which I don't watch, but he's like works at their restaurant or something.
Which one is he? What does he look like?
Well, I can't say it because you'll judge me.
Is he a little Asian dude?
Yeah.
He's very stereotypical in that show.
Okay, that's nice. So yeah, though that's, whatever. Also, Keith David, who is an older, very respected actor. He was in Community. That's what I would know him best from. He's also going to be in the show, so that's pretty cool. He was also in the show called The Cape, which you might know being kind of made fun of, kind of honored in Community.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm not very invested in this new Warrior show. I probably will check it out when it does come out, but none of this casting really does anything for me one way or the other.
Not even Keith David?
Yeah, I mean, that's cool. Like, I like him. He seems like he'll be... I just don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Okay, after that, or I should say next thing. So, James Cameron is the creator of the Terminator franchise, I guess. I mean, I know he directed the first one, and I don't know if he's necessarily the creator, but he did have the rights to the Terminator, like, concept, franchise, whatever. And he, like, made some deal because he didn't want to direct the second one, or maybe it was the second one.
I think he is with the second one.
No, he definitely did Aliens, but I don't know if he did Terminator 2. Anyway, regardless, at some point he waived his rights to the franchise to be returned to him in the year 2018, which is next year. So he's working on the Avatar franchise right now, but he's getting ready to get the rights to Terminator back and what he can do with that. And he says he's planning to do a reboot with a trilogy.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Okay, so T2 was directed by James Cameron. Yeah, so I think a reboot for the Terminator series is needed at this point. As much as I'm a fan of, new content for franchises, the Terminator series is, like, really bogged down at this point, which is weird, even though they only have, like, 5 movies. Which I know that's...
Why do you have to touch them, though?
I don't know. I mean, I really like the concept of the Terminator and the time travel thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, a reboot can mean a lot of things. Like, it could mean, like, a remake of the first one in the vein of RoboCop. And I could see that working out. A lot of the effects are kind of dated at this point. I could see that, having some success. It could also just mean, reworking of the franchise. With time travel, it's very easy to, kind of reset everything. There's a lot of ways it could go. So I'm okay with a reboot. No matter what happens, the original Terminator will still exist and it'll still be a great movie. So I'll always have that. I'm not really worried about a reboot, ruining those series or whatever. What I am worried about is him saying, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do this trilogy," when he's already making 4 Avatar movies and God knows what else. Him saying, "Yeah, I'm totally going to do 3 more movies." Like, no, start with 1, go from there. I don't know why this is so hard. I really don't. So that's the thing. So next thing, it was announced that the 25th James Bond movie is going to be coming out, I believe, now I can't remember if it was next year or 2019, but Daniel Craig has confirmed that he will be returning to the role.
Even though he didn't want to.
Yeah, even though he didn't want to. You can't see it, but I'm doing big quote marks.
I'm pretty sure we can feel the quote marks in your voice, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, I like Daniel Craig. I think he's a good actor. I think he's done a good run as James Bond, but I want to see him, kind of pass the torch on. I think there's a lot of other actors who would fit really well in the role. Yeah. As you guys said last week, I think Idris Elba would be a fantastic choice for the role.
He's been a fan petition one, even though there was that comment that the creator of 007 did say, which, yeah.
I mean, it's, they're going to do whatever they're going to do. I don't know. Like, it's whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I'm not that big of a James Bond fan.
I'm sure they could go with, like, a super old James Bond. Like,
Sean Connery coming back.
Oh, I was going to say Michael Caine, but yeah, like, they could do Sean Connery.
Yeah. Sean Connery's older than Michael Caine, so... I think he's still in pretty good shape, though.
Sean Connery?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
He's Sean Connery.
Okay, let's move on. We got some very interesting details about the Captain Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
So first thing is that it's going to be set in the 1990s, which
yeah.
if that was the only news that came out of SDCC, that would have been like huge news. This is the first time that Marvel has ever done a non-chronological MCU movie. So I'm really curious to see why more than anything. Like, how they choose to tackle that, with the past setting in the past. That's, fine or whatever. I just want to know, like, why they're going that route. And where's Captain Marvel been all these years while the Avengers are doing whatever, all their,
I mean, you can kind of make the argument about the first Avenger.
Right. I mean, yeah, I guess that's true.
But I know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, yeah, that really took me back. Nick Fury is going to be in it. We already talked about that. However, they announced that he's going to have both eyes, which is, okay, sure, why not?
What, do you thought he was just born with the eye patch?
No. Like, in the original comics, he lost it in World War II. But he's obviously not quite that old in the MCU, so... Yeah, Nick Fury with two eyes. That should be interesting. Yeah. Final thing that they announced is they revealed the bad guys for the movie. It's going to be the Skrull Empire. Now, that was a bombshell. If you guys don't know, the Skrulls are one of the main nemesises of the Fantastic Four. So I believe that Fox had or has the rights to the Skrulls, but the Marvel lawyers must have worked their magic and, given up something to get the Skrulls back. And now they're going to be part of the MCU in the Captain Marvel movie, which is really cool. We talked before about the war between the Skrulls and the Kree. And if you don't know, Captain Marvel, I should say Carol Danvers, gets her power because she has a blood transfusion from the Kree Captain Marvel, whose name is Marvel. He disguises himself as a human, and they get in a relationship, and then she gets hurt, and then he gives her some blood, and that saves her life. But then she gets Kree powers because of his blood, and it's kind of a mess. But so her powers are based on Kree powers, and so the Skrulls being part of it totally makes sense. So that's just really cool. Now, I just thought of this right now. What if it's set in the past to make way for a Secret Invasion movie? That's just like a really quick and dirty setup for the whole thing. Like, this has been going on forever.
You know what I also thought about? Maybe we would get to see Ronan again.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Because he is a Kree.
He'd still be alive.
He broke away from the Empire. Yeah, that's so many possibilities. Yeah. This is cool. Yeah,
so... I'm not like a huge Captain Marvel fan. Not because I have anything against her. I just don't really know too much about her. But this made me a lot more hyped for this movie.
I agree.
Although, I will say that I did not agree with her stance in Civil War 2.
What was her stance? I actually don't. I didn't pay attention to that.
So basically, there was a mutant who had the power to predict the future. And she advocated for using his powers to stop crimes and punish criminals before the crimes happen. And Iron Man was not in favor of that. Stance.
Okay.
Then we also got a bunch of casting announcements for...
Imagine if they do the second Civil War and Tony's like, I really don't want to do this, guys.
I would.
It's like Robert Downey Jr. is fine with doing it. Just the character of Tony is I don't want to do this.
So like I was saying, we got a bunch of casting announcements for Ant-Man and the Wasp. So first we got Lawrence Fishburne, which is cool. We're getting Morpheus in the MCU.
Yeah.
Randall Park is going to be in the movie.
Yeah. Which
is pretty cool. I think I like him a lot. I think he's really funny.
Yeah, he's really, really funny.
Walton Goggins, who, let's see, he was in The Hateful Eight.
Okay.
He was in Lincoln. He was in... I don't know what else he was in. I want to say he was in Holes. I don't know. Anyway. and then an actress named Hannah John Kamen, who I don't know anything about her. So yeah, that's all cool. I think those are really good casting announcements. Some pretty top tier actors there. We also got announced that Michelle Pfeiffer is going to play Janet Van Dyne.
Yeah, which is really interesting.
Yeah,
I'm very, very intrigued to see where that's going to go.
Yeah, it's some white gold right there. So, yeah, that movie sounds like it's going to be pretty good.
I'm a fan of the first one, so I'm excited to see this again.
Me too. Okay, then it was announced that Tom Welling is going to be in season 3 of the show Lucifer. For those who don't know, Tom Welling is best known for one of two things. One, he was in this movie called The Fog, which was really bad. I don't recommend it. He's probably a little bit better known as Clark Kent on the show Smallville. And, yeah. I remember when Smallville was like a really popular show, like whenever I was at the grocery store and I would see the entertainment weekly magazines or whatever, like he was all over them because he would like date a new girl every week or something.
Yeah.
And
the actor or the character?
No, the actor.
Okay.
Yeah. And I started referring to him as Tom Swelling because his lips would get really swollen from kissing all those girls.
You're so lame.
No, I know I'm lame. But anyway.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, he like hasn't really been up to much that I know of since Smallville ended, which was a while ago.
Wasn't he in the Cheaper by the Dozen movies?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was the oldest kid, I think.
Yeah.
He's an angry kid in that movie, too.
Yep. And, yeah, so now he's going to be Lucifer. I think that's pretty cool. I did not read the article to know whether or not he's going to be Clark Kent because it is, a DC show. But I kind of find that hard to believe. But, hey, you never know. On a similar note, and actually this kind of goes back to last week when you guys were talking about Austin going to prom, is that Erica Durance, who played Lois Lane on Smallville, is going to be in Supergirl.
Okay.
Not as Lois Lane. Okay. She's going to be taking over Laura Benante's character. Okay. She played... we talked about this a couple weeks ago, actually, with Catherine on the show. She was Kara's mother, Allura, the Zor-El / aunt, who was a bad guy. Spoilers. She just had a baby. She's doing a bunch of other stuff in New York. She just couldn't commit to being in Supergirl anymore. So, Erica is going to be taking that role. So, that's pretty cool. But I just thought it was funny that, there's two Smallville characters who are going to different DC TV shows. Yeah. And we just talked about Lois Lane, or you guys talked about Lois Lane last week. So, there you go. Okay, some more SDCC news that came out. We got a title for the Flash movie. It's going to be called Flashpoint.
What?
So, I had so many thoughts when I thought about this. But two primary thoughts. First one is that this is going to be kind of a spoiler for the Flash TV show, but, it's kind of necessary. At the end of season 2 and at the beginning of season 3, they set up a Flashpoint storyline. If you know anything about comics, you know what that means. If you don't, then you don't. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Yeah, they did that. And I just think it's interesting that this new Flash movie is kind of treading similar ground that the show is already doing. That could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It could mean something else, although that would be pretty weird. I don't know. Other thing is that we already have a Flashpoint movie, and might I say, a fantastic Flashpoint movie. One of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely probably the best animated movie of all time. Easily the best DC animated movie. I'm not gonna have this argument with you again.
I'm just saying. Okay, you made your claim when I said The Walking Dead was a good show, so I only think it's fair that I give my not disapproval. I do like Flashpoint Paradox. Maybe disagreement on that, but I will admit it's one of the best ones that they've made. Like it's kind of the last one that they've made.
What?
I mean, I take it back.
Like last good one.
I feel like lately they've been okay.
Yeah.
For me, they used to like blow me out of the water.
Uh-huh.
No pun intended, because of Aquaman, but they did, and I mean, I did enjoy the Killing Joke a lot, but I know we had this discussion, but like, yeah,
I don't think was part of their like cinematic universe.
Right. I mean, I just haven't been too, blown away.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think part of it is a lot of the last ones have been focused on Damien, which is just...
I like the way that you say it, it's just like the way that he says slave.
Not Damien Dark.
Same way.
No, I
What?
wish.
Sorry, I interrupted.
It's fine, I'm used to it at this point.
Oh my gosh, this is not like the 1800s. Like, your woman has the right to speak.
Did Brandon just defend me?
Never mind. She does not have the right to speak. Keep your woman in check.
Anyway, so I
So sorry.
I have mixed feelings about this Flash movie. Like, I really like the Flashpoint storyline. I just, like, if they're retreading this ground that's already been done twice really well, like, I just don't know why they need to do that.
Well, I've heard that the Flashpoint storyline in the Flash TV show was okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, but...
I heard it was, like, a lot of people were, like, hyped up, but, like, the hype was so big that they didn't really think about, well, we can't do exactly what they did in the comics because we don't have all those characters.
Right.
I feel like, at the very least, when you do this for the movie, you could possibly do that.
Possibly.
I mean, I think that's, like, at least one of the advantages they have compared to everything else.
Yeah, but, I mean, even, taking away the TV show... Well, no, I think the TV show doing it is a stronger argument for the Flash movie not doing it because so few people will know what Flashpoint Paradox is to begin with, especially the animated movie. So, I don't know. I want to see them establish their own identity because, they caught a lot of backlash for saying, "Oh, we're casting Ezra Miller as the Flash and not Grant Gustin." But if they're just doing what the show is already doing, then it's like, why are you even making a Flash movie? That's just me. Okay, next thing here is that it was announced that Darkwing Duck is going to be making an appearance in the reboot of the DuckTales cartoon, which is pretty cool. So for those who don't know, Darkwing Duck is a cartoon that is in the same universe as... it was a spin-off of DuckTales back in the day. Launchpad McQuack was the pilot of Scrooge McDuck. And at some point he just left Duckburg to move to... I have no idea what city Darkwing Duck lived in. Yeah, so he became a character, and there was one other character who I also don't remember the name of. But he was another superhero who, had to go to Darkwing Duck's city. So there's, crossover, but I don't believe that Darkwing Duck and Scrooge McDuck ever, cross paths. Yeah. So I'm curious to see how that will go here.
It's going to tell him he failed the city.
Yeah, maybe he will. I think as long as they're at it, they should get the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Just, one big duck universe. Oh, and Duck Dodgers.
Oh, see, now you're crossing the streams. But I would not be opposed to that.
I don't think anybody would be opposed to that.
I kind of want to see Duck Dodgers in the new Green Lantern movie that they're planning to make. If they just have him in there, I'd be totally fine. That would be a solid A for that movie. Yeah. Everything else could go bad, but they have Duck Dodgers in there. Okay, this movie did it for me. And if he does the oath that he did in the show.
Yeah. That would be awesome. So, Austin talked about this last week, but I'll just reiterate really quickly. We're making a Doctor Doom movie. Mm-hmm. I have really mixed feelings about Doctor Doom as a character. Yeah. I know he's supposed to be, a really big bad of the Marvel universe, but for some reason I've never been able to, take him that seriously.
Yeah, neither have I. He's okay. I just saying.
Yeah. I think part A in the first Fantastic Four movie, like, he just is not, like, he's not very powerful. Like, he's kind of scary, but, like, he doesn't have any, like, superpowers. And
He did.
I mean, he kind of, but, like, not, like, he doesn't really show them off that much.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He shot lightning out of his hands. I mean, granted, he was just kind of like an Emperor Palpatine knockoff because he had the hood and he had, you know, the lightning coming out of his fingers and hands, but he had superpowers.
And then in the Superhero Squad show cartoon, he's the main antagonist, or at least in season 1, but he's just like a big joke. Like he's like I can't really think of a good comparison, but you know what I mean. Like he's what's the scientist that parodied platypus fights? Dr. Doofenshmirtz?
Yeah.
Kind of. No, he's like he's very competent, but his henchmen are very incompetent, and like their stupidity often foils his plans for him. Yeah. Anyway,
the only thing I can really think about is maybe Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense. So, yeah, Doctor Doom movie, it's a thing.
That's true.
It's better than another Fantastic Four movie.
Fantastic. I need to watch that movie.
The new one?
Just to see how bad it is.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Alright, we need to get like a case of beer and get Fantastic Four and get Gods of Egypt and just go to town.
That'd be a pretty fun night. It's going to be a fantastic night.
When is all supposed to happen? In the next week before we leave?
Yeah.
Like
I said, it's going to be a fantastic night, right? Yeah.
That was so gross and disturbing. So many levels.
Once again, you married this.
Hey, I can be disturbing. Am I right?
What?
Yeah. Okay, next news item is, I think Austin also talks about this, but now I don't really remember.
Yeah, Austin was really good with the news.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
The Shazam movie is coming 2019. Pause, back up. I thought it was really funny when you guys started talking about Sean Spicer resigning. I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, I was like, what? I just kind of went along with it. Yeah. That was a pretty fun episode.
Yeah. Anyway, Shazam movie 2019. We finally got like a semi-solid like release window. So that's cool. And yeah. Okay, we got the announcement of a new Doctor for Doctor Who. It's going to be, for the first time ever, a female. I don't know the actress's name, but she looks British. I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
What?
You look British?
Yeah.
How?
Did you ever see
bad teeth?
Oh, dude, that's messed up.
That's the stereotype?
Did you ever see that episode of Family Guy when they were
Oh,
all British?
yeah.
They all clearly looked British.
Okay.
And they all had bad teeth.
Oh my
See?
gosh.
See?
You guys are the worst. You know
Yeah, I
that.
know. Anyway, no, she does not have bad teeth. I only watched one 1 minute video where she was just like walking through the woods. It's kind of confusing. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that it's a female. I think that's a good change. That they needed to shake it up. So I am curious to see how they're going to handle the new companions / the Doctor's sexuality, because I'm not super familiar with Doctor Who, but based on what I have seen, he always has at least one companion with him, and it's that one companion is always female. And every time that I've seen, she always develops romantic feelings for the Doctor. So I don't know if they're going to keep that trend, and usually it's not requited. So I don't know how they're going to handle that going forward. If they're going to do, some lesbian storylines, or if they're going to, it couldn't be that whenever the Doctor regenerates, that I don't know how to say this, the sexual orientation is redetermined.
Oh my goodness. Are we really having this talk?
Look, I'm just trying to theorize.
Oh my god, why does it matter that much?
I'm just curious to see how they're going to handle it.
Oh my gosh, this is exactly what's wrong with the internet today. Although I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about this either. So, I mean, I'm like one of those really pretentious jerks that criticizes things. But then when it really comes down to it, I'm like, yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
You know what it kind of makes me feel like when we're talking about this? I feel like middle schoolers, like 6th graders, thinking about like, how does sex work?
Okay, then.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Then it was announced. This was really random. Lucy Liu is going to be directing the season premiere of season 2 of Luke Cage. Now, I like Lucy Liu. I think she's a really good actress.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's done any directing. She's on this show on CBS called Elementary, where she plays Dr. Watson, basically. She might have directed an episode or multiple episodes of that. I don't really know. But I don't know of any other directing that she's done. So yeah, I don't know why she's directing this, but I guess it's cool. Yeah.
I'm sure she just was bored one day, like, hey, can I do this? Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, now we have a few celebrity guests we have to talk about. Try to make them brief. So the first one is George Romero, died at the age of 77. He was the director of Night of the Living Dead. Among many other things, I know, like, I saw a bunch of articles about, like, how he was, like, a pioneer in, like, directing the horror genre, stuff like that. I didn't get a chance to read any of those articles. Have you ever seen Night of the Living Dead?
I have not, no.
It's really boring. Like...
At least you're honest. At least.
Yeah, I mean, like, I get why people, like, revere it as, you know, it was, like, the first zombie movie ever, I think. Like, he came up with the idea of zombies, I think. Like, that's cool, but they were very limited by technology and probably budget. It's a thing. So, yeah, he passed away a couple weeks ago. Then John Hurd died at the age of 71. He was best known, well, to me at least, he was best known as the dad from Home Alone. Home Alone came out, like, in the early to mid-90s, I want to say. So that would have made him, like, 50 back then. So he looked really good for that movie. Yeah, I want to say he was also in, like, he's in The Sopranos, that's what it was. Which I've never watched.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And then finally, just either today or yesterday, a voice actress named June Foray died at age 99. I saw a picture of, like, all the voice work that she's done, and it was a ton of stuff. I think her best known role would be as Rocky the Squirrel from Rocky and Bullwinkle. Just what else was she in that I was noticing? She was the witch from Looney Tunes, actually, going back to that. What else? There was, like, a ton of, like, famous characters that I recognize, and also a ton that I didn't recognize. Yeah. But yeah, she did a ton of stuff, so she'll be missed. All right. So final news item for this week is, I know that SDCC happened already, but last year I had a lot of fun going over all of the exclusive pop vinyls that were going to be at the convention. So even though it's already happened and you were either there and got them, or you weren't there and you didn't get them, I still want to go over the list to look at all of the cool stuff that we missed out on.
Okay.
So, okay, this doesn't give me titles, so you're going to have to bear with me trying to figure out what all of these are. Okay, so we've got some Westworld pops of, like, one of them's like a robot with his face open, and another one's like a samurai thing. The Mountain from Game of Thrones with his armor on. That's really cool. A mech from... I don't even know what that's from. The 6-inch Megazord pop. That was really cool. Yeah,
from the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah. One of the bad guys from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Scareglow, who also glows in the dark. A flocked Lorax pop. I love the Lorax. That's probably my favorite Dr. Seuss book. I'm not a big fan of the flocking, though, on pops. I mean, they're okay, but I wouldn't choose to get it. Mr. Toad from Mr. Frog and Mr. Toad? Is that what it's called?
No, you're thinking about Frog and Toad.
Oh, you're right. Oh, is it? I don't even know what it is. From Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Yeah, that's cool, I guess. I don't even know what that is, honestly.
That was, I think Disney made that movie.
Yeah. A couple open-faced robots from Five Nights at Freddy's, if you're into that kind of thing. a pop of Hey Hey. That's what it was. Is it Hey Hey or Hee Hee?
Hey, hey.
Yeah, Hey Hey from Moana. There was a mini pop of him that came with one of the Moana pops, but now he got his own big one. So that's cool. He looked kind of creepy to me, honestly.
What, the in the movie or the
No, in the pop.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like I'm sure it's like very similar to how it is in the movie. It just, I guess I didn't really notice it.
Yeah.
Then we got a Flock Tigger pop. That one's really cool. Glow in the dark Jolly Roger from the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney World. Glow in the dark Negatron pop. It's like a evil version of Darkwing Duck, but he's like black and white. Chip and Dale from not like the stripper guys, like from Disney.
Oh my gosh.
The Chipmunks, that's what they are. That one's pretty cool, but it wasn't a shared exclusive. Like you had to be at the convention to get it, so I'm sure it costs like an arm and a leg already. Luna Lovegood with Spectre Specs. That one's pretty rad. And my favorite one, like if I was going to choose one to get, and I will get it at some point, it's Harry Potter riding on a broom trying to catch the snitch. Very cool.
Yeah.
Then one of the beasts from the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movie, the Akami. It's that giant snake eagle thing from that like shrinks size. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. It's a 6-inch pop, by the way.
I think it was massive in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Some dude from the 100 TV show that I haven't watched. One of the Winchester brothers with a car from Supernatural. Again, I haven't watched it, so I don't really know. The Psycho Shrinker. I don't even know what that is. That might Funko just released this new line of monster pops, like their own original creations. I think that might be it. Aragorn and Arwen from Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. T-Dog from The Walking Dead.
With
like he's all like geared up to kill some walkers, looks like. Steve from Stranger Things, all beat up with the nail baseball bat, which made a reappearance in the trailer. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. It kind of looked like the other guy was holding it though.
Okay.
The
Jonathan.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, and then also Mr. Clark from the show.
Good old Mr. Clark.
Yeah.
It's like he did so much I didn't even know it.
The main character from Mr. Robot, but wearing this weird old man mask. Still haven't watched that show. I really need to get around to it. The Tick, Glow in the Dark from the new show. That's, if you're into that kind of thing, that's all right. Clara, one of the companions of the Doctor in Doctor Who. Fan favorite right there. 2-pack of the FBI dude and the dead girl from Twin Peaks. And it's the Black Lodge set, I think is what they called it. He's like spilling his coffee. I guess it's a reference to something that happened in the show. Then a Flocked Dorbs ride of Skeletor and Panther. 2-pack of the Wonder Twin. Well, I guess it's a 3-pack of the Wonder Twins, and what was the stupid monkey's name?
Oh no! We spent so much time on this.
I know, and now I'm totally forgetting. Gleek. Oh, how could I forget Gleek? Yeah. Anyway, this is also one of my favorites because Zan and Jaina are doing the like fist bump thing. Yeah, it's really clever. 60s Batman 66 with like a space helmet on. The Batman from Suicide Squad, but dressed as the Joker. And then Bruce Wayne from the Justice League movie holding the Batarang, like dressed in the suit and everything. And then like a chrome blue Batman pop. Looks pretty shiny. The Man-Bat from the Batman the Animated Series. Also really good. Ares from Wonder Woman. Spoilers. Aquaman.
No, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ares! Never gets old.
Aquaman from the Justice League movie, holding a mother box. Baxter Stockman from the TMNT. 2-pack Dorbs of
You got this.
no, I
Dormant.
Ormond and Brienne
Of.
Tarth.
Mhm.
And then Cartman from South Park dressed up as a raccoon. It's a reference to one of the episodes, I don't know. And then some other kid whose face is half purple from South Park, I don't even know. It's just called Mint Berry Crunch.
I don't know.
Yes. Then a 2-pack of Ren and Stimpy with Ren. I think that one's Ren. Has like some weird helmet on his head. Flocked Cat Dog Pop. Tony Stark from Spider-Man Homecoming with the weird yellow glasses holding his Iron Man helmet. Red She-Hulk. Captain America, specifically Bucky Barnes as Captain America. It's got a slightly different color scheme. Gwenpool with Selfie Stick. A 2-pack of R2-D2 and a holographic, or not, hologram Princess Leia. A 6-inch Snoke, Supreme Leader Snoke, glow-in-the-dark pop. Bodhi Rook from Rogue One. And a combat assault tank trooper, also from Rogue One. A She-Ra rock candy, a Gwenpool with katana rock candy, a Aladdin and Abu magic carpet Dorbs ride, a Nightwing and Deathstroke Dorbs 2-pack, a Island Wonder Woman and Ares Dorbs 2-pack, and finally a weird Batmobile. I have no idea what this is. It's like from the Bat anime. I can't really zoom in on it anymore.
I didn't know this was the thing.
It's like Batman 66, but weird, and it's also not in the style of any of their other lines, other than kind of the reaction figures, but I don't think they're still making those. So yeah, that's all of them. You know, like I said before, I've really, really reined it in on my pop collecting. There's some cool ones on here that I'd really like to have. The only one that I absolutely need to have is that Harry Potter one. I'll get my hands on it at some point. Don't give me that look. Other than that, like the Wonder Twins one, like I said, is really cool. The Megazord one is really cool. The Mountain one's pretty cool. What about you?
For me, oh my goodness, there's so many good ones. I would love to have the Tony Stark one. And I actually would like to have the Ares one. That one was pretty cool. The Mountain one.
What about Aragorn? That one's pretty cool.
Yeah, that one I would really, really like. The Megazord one, I think, out of all of them, I would love the Megazord one the most.
Yeah, the 6-inch ones are always really cool.
And then probably Mr. Clark. I don't know. I just really liked him on the show.
Okay, so that's all of the news. So, Brandon, feature topic, yes or no?
You decide.
Robin?
I don't care.
Well, I'm never one to shy away from a long podcast, so you know what? Let's do it.
Okay.
All right, so I've been holding this one in my back pocket, and fortunately, I have something prepared. So, I want to talk about commercials.
Oh God.
Why do you say that, Brandon?
Okay, I'm gonna hold my stuff.
All right,
keep going.
So we
introduce the topic.
We've talked about, a few weeks, or actually a couple months ago at this point, we did, the art of trailer making, and, the goods and bads of that. And I feel that commercials are very similar. There's a right way to do commercials and a wrong way to do commercials. And I'm not just talking about like movies and shows and stuff. I'm talking about just anything. So I want to break this into two parts. One is just what makes a good commercial and what makes a bad commercial. And then after that, kind of just freeform reminiscing about some of our favorite commercials.
Good.
So, I, for a long time, have not had cable. When I moved to school, I had a TV in my room, but I never bothered hooking it up to the cable. When I moved out of the dorms and into my first apartment, we as a collective apartment decided it wasn't worth the money to get cable because we either watched everything on Netflix or got it, from other sources. Same thing when I moved to my second apartment, and we're going to have cable at our new apartment, but only because it's free. Like, if we're going to have to pay for it, we wouldn't have done it. So all of that is to say, I don't really watch, or recently, haven't really watched a lot of commercials.
Right.
However, in the last few weeks of living with my parents again, I've been watching some TV, and, you know, I have been exposed to more commercials than I have recently. And I have to say, commercials are kind of garbage now. They're not, and they're not entertaining, well, for the most part. Not entertaining, not informative, just, they're like, I really think what they're trying to do is be memes in like 30-second formats.
Do you have any examples for this?
I think the worst offender is Geico.
Okay.
So we'll talk about this later, but Geico used to have fantastic commercials. You know, they had the Geico Gecko, the Caveman, even like that little stack of money that they had for a while. That was pretty good. And now they're just like these stupid like jokes that they stretch out for a really long time. Either that or what was another? They started doing these motorcycle insurance commercials, and like it's like these two kids come into the kitchen and there's a note taped to the fridge that says, Mom and Dad just got motorcycle insurance. You're on your own for 2 weeks. And one of the kids goes like, I'm going back to bed. And the other kid goes, what are you talking about? It's noon. And then it cuts to the mom and dad driving their motorcycles down the highway for a good 7 or 8 seconds. And then that's the end of the commercial. And it was not funny. It did not tell me why I should purchase Geico. All it was insurance and a motorcycle. And they thought that was good enough to sell me on their product, and they are very, very mistaken.
Okay, keep going. Give me some more examples.
More examples of bad commercials.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing what I see what you're trying to say. I really do.
Okay, so this isn't a recent example, but this is a throwback. Did you ever watch the commercial for Head On?
I want to say yes.
Okay, so Head On is I hesitate to call it this, but I don't really know what else you would classify it as. It's a type of medicine. It's to treat headaches. But instead of, taking a pill or whatever, it's like a cream. Well, no, it's more like a glue stick. And you just rub it on your head. Yeah, you rub it on your head. And so whatever it does, it supposedly works topically. And all it did was, it was a woman's voice repeating, head on, applied directly to the forehead, like 4 or 5 times. And that was the entire commercial. Yeah.
Okay. So, there's obviously a difference between the commercials you've said. I mean, not just because of the product that they're selling, but also because clearly one had more production value than the other one. Mm-hmm. And I know you know that. First off, the one with Head On, I think that's just stupid. Just because, I've never used Head On. I don't know if it works or not.
Yeah.
But obviously you can tell that this is not a very high-end corporate company that's selling this, or maybe it is, and they just really, really suck at advertising. I don't know. Maybe that's the case.
Okay, but
it's different with the Geico one because Geico, like I said, obviously there's more production value that was put into it. Mm-hmm. At least some thought was put into it. Maybe not really good thought. I haven't seen the commercial, so I can't make that judgment. But I'm taking it from what you've said. Obviously, it was not that great and thought out, but obviously, at least to a degree, it was. And it was trying to at least be somewhat humorous or quirky in that kind of,
completely failed.
Thank you for...
Sorry.
No, obviously you're right, because it did not satisfy you. And, that's probably, you're right, it probably failed. If I saw this commercial, odds are I probably would be disappointed in it too, because, it didn't get anything across. But at the same time, I think this is also not only just insurance companies, but other companies as well, is that they know that nobody really wants to... I'm not saying this is true, but just from a certain perspective of viewpoints of audiences, that they don't want to see, what's, the good thing and the bad thing about choosing us for insurance. They don't know about our rates or whatnot. Look at this. It's somewhat funny. It's unorthodox. We're not talking about insurance, but it's about insurance. These people have a motorcycle.
Okay, well, I'll give you a counter example.
Okay.
Farmers Insurance, have you seen those commercials? The old J.K. Simmons?
Yes, I have.
I think those are great commercials.
I agree, because...
they're funny. Yeah. Got a lot of production value. They've got a famous actor, which, definitely helps. Yeah. But they also talk about insurance and why their insurance is better than their competitors. And that is basically everything you need to do in a commercial right there. I think it's a wonderful commercial. Having said that, it has failed in its primary purpose of convincing me to purchase their product.
It's about Geico or Farmers?
Both.
Okay.
You know, I'm very happy with the insurance that I have, so it's unlikely that I'm going to switch. You know, having said that, though, if there ever was a point where I was unsatisfied with my insurance and I was looking to switch, I would be much more likely to consider Farmers than Geico because of that commercial.
Right. I mean, no, you bring an absolutely good point to it. First off, congratulations, you have insurance. I don't have insurance. Secondly...
Dang, man, that was dark.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything about that. And secondly, I mean, you bring a very good point because, like what you said, ultimately, whatever they're trying to sell, like, it didn't satisfy you. But that's because you have your product already and you're satisfied with it. But, you know, when people watch TV, I mean, I'm not saying this for, like, everybody who watches it, but one thing I learned when I was taking my TV production classes, and we spent a whole good, I forget how many weeks talking about commercials, because eventually our project was to do a commercial. But he talked about, like, he said, yeah, nobody likes commercials.
Yeah.
He straight up said it. He was teaching us that. He said, I've never met anybody in my lifetime who said, yeah, I genuinely like commercials. Like, you can...
commercials are the worst.
You can he mentioned commercial. Like, the only time people really gather around to watch commercials is for the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Because a lot more production value goes into it. Millions upon millions of dollars go into these commercials. Like, it's ridiculous how much money goes into them. But he said that even after all that, you know, you're gonna probably entertain some people or you're gonna disappoint some people. But in those 30 seconds, like, not only do you have to hook them, but you have to give them a reason as to why you should choose their service or their product as opposed to somebody else's. And he just said, like, yeah, it's just not feasible. Like, you can't give, like, the best logistic answer for that. So you have to find a way to at least make it memorable or to stick into your mind. Also, making it good at the same time.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons that commercials fail for me these days is that all the things that I really care about is I follow that news. So it's not like, so one of the things that I am very invested in is Nintendo. And I don't need to watch a commercial to be like, oh, the 3DS is coming out, or the Switch is coming out, or Splatoon 2 is coming out. I know all that. I've been following that news for months. I don't need to see a commercial for that. One of the things that I do need to be informed about, and this is just the first thing that came to mind, is like new like food items coming to my favorite restaurants. So, for example, at Whataburger, the Buffalo Ranch Chicken Strip Sandwich, which unfortunately is gone now, but was very delicious.
When's the last time I had Whataburger? It's been a while.
Okay, actually, maybe that's a bad example because I follow Whataburger on Twitter, so I would have seen that coming out. But like
Queso Burger.
Sure, the Queso Burger.
The what?
Wendy's.
Yeah, Wendy's has a new burger that has queso
I haven't
on
even... Oh, okay.
Oh, I had Wendy's yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Wendy's is actually pretty good. And really cheap. Like, it's cheaper than McDonald's now.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, not because their prices went down, it's because McDonald's prices went up.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Anyway, so yeah, like the Queso Burger, or like IHOP has, you know, like a flavor of the month pancake or whatever. Yeah. Basically, anytime I see that, I'm like, oh man, I really want to go to IHOP now. I generally don't. Occasionally, sometimes it'll hook me enough to go, but you know, it at least gets me to think about going to IHOP. You know what I mean? Yeah, so. That's one of the things I think that I really need commercials for, because I'm not going to follow IHOP on Twitter. I follow Whataburger on Twitter because they followed me and then I followed them back, and they post a lot of really good memes.
Yeah,
so.
they do. But I still think they, you know, like just going with the IHOP commercials, they still did their job though. Like, even though you weren't automatically wanting IHOP, it still planted that seed in your head though that you wanted to get it. And I think that's just like the influence of commercials. You don't necessarily need this or you want it at the moment, but, you know, since it's available for you then, why not just stick it in the back of your brain until later? It's all one big conspiracy, Alex.
So, yeah, I don't know if that was really good discussion on what necessarily makes a good commercial or not. I mean, it was a good start. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah. No, I mean, good commercials and bad commercials. I mean, it's hard. I mean, it just depends on what the product is. Does it have any relevance to you? I mean, like for me, I don't have a car, right? And you see what goes into a car commercial. All those angles. Sometimes they have a storyline. They have a bunch of it looks really nice and everything, and I think they look great. But at the same time, I don't really care that much because one, I don't have the money to buy a new car like that. Two, the model. I mean, okay, that's too bad. The model does matter to me because I want a safe, reliable thing that gives me good gas mileage and everything. So whenever I see things for sports cars or new Audis or whatever, I'm like, they look super nice, but it's like whatever. It's like if I ever watched the Victoria's Secret fashion show. I mean, they all look nice, but I mean, it's like I'm gonna marry them or anything. No, I take it back. That's a terrible analogy. I just compare them to objects. No, every human has a dignity to themselves and are worthy individuals. I apologize. I respect everyone in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. But you kind of get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
though? Yeah. It's taking away the Victoria's Secret analogy. It's that even though it's nice to look at, does it really matter to me too much? And for me, car commercials, not yet, because I'm in that point in my life, I just don't have that connection to it.
Yeah.
Now, with you, with food commercials, oh, definitely. Because my life revolves around food. I love food way too much to ever ignore that. I hate it because even though I don't watch TV that much, if it comes up on my YouTube videos, the skip option is there.
Oh yeah,
I will not skip a food.
Oh really?
Commercial. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm hungry 24/7, man.
You know what are great commercials that actually captivate you if you have money? Infomercials. Last time we were watching an infomercial about some cooking thing, and I was like, if I have money, I would buy that.
I hate infomercials.
If I had money, I would buy all those things. I'm one of those people. They're like, oh, that looks cool.
Oh my gosh. And also, I think if the commercial makes you feel something, whether it doesn't have to be touchy feely feels. It just if it creates some kind of emotion out of you. Obviously, you would want it to be a good emotion. But I mean, there are commercials which
like the doggies ones.
Oh god.
Yeah. No, there's this one commercial for one of the gum companies. I don't remember which one, but I think it was either a summer break or a winter break during college. I was sitting there in the morning before work.
It seems to have great flush power. How do you do that? Man, Bellarmine just wants that's probably why they're so skinny.
I was sitting there before work, eating my cereal, watching the news, and a commercial for this gum commercial came on. And I don't remember the whole thing, but it was about this little girl and her dad, and they would always share gum, and she would always give him back the wrapper. Yeah. And then time progresses, and she's going off to college, and they packing up all the stuff in her car, and she opens this one box and it has every gum wrapper that she ever gave her dad or something. And he wrote either made something out of it, or he wrote something sentimental or something. And I look over to my mom, and she's weeping at this stupid gum commercial. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, that's.
So yeah, I know what you mean about emotional commercials.
Yeah, I know Extra Gum, that brand. They did one similarly between a boy and a girl, and they do something similar, but the guy would end up drawing things on the gum wrappers. And then one night she comes to, I guess, his apartment or something, and she sees these frames. And on each frame is either a date or a significant moment in their lives. And by the time she gets to the main room, he's on his knee, proposing to her. And I thought, damn it, this is so stupid, but it's so sweet at the same time. So I think, the examples we just listed right now, those are pretty good examples of, what is a good commercial. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's a very far stretch to connect such a pivotal moment in a human's life to gum. But
it works.
Yeah,
it really
right?
does.
Let's see, another example of a good commercial I really like. Oh, okay, so this commercial, I feel ashamed, but I play it on repeat because it has one of the stars of Hamilton. Well, former stars of Hamilton. His name is Leslie Odom Jr.
Okay.
And this is for Nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they were doing this constantly, but there was a period when they would just get singers to just sing the jingle of Nationwide. And so I know they have, I think Brad Paisley doing it for once. And then, so when he was on, I was listening to it, and obviously, you know, I know who the person is, so already, like, that's something to draw me into the medium. And then after that, visually it looks nice, it sounds nice, and then it just has, like, not a whole story, but different clips of something. So he talks about having, you know, getting married, where even though you're 65, you still find the love of your life, or you know, have children now, or you have a new car that you want to get. And he talks about even of all that, you know, Nationwide still has your side. And I don't know, just it was a nice little jingle that just really hooks you onto it. And he just sounds so nice singing it. I replayed that commercial so many times that I tweeted him about it. He didn't retweet me back, but I tweeted him about it. Like, I played this commercial nonstop for about 3 minutes. It's a 30-second commercial. Do you know how much time that is?
3 minutes.
How many times I played the commercial?
6 times.
For one commercial.
Yeah, that's good retention.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, I don't have insurance.
Right.
But if I didn't know any better and I was just like, oh, you know, this sounds nice, so I might just buy it. Which, I mean, it's not something that you should do, but
right.
I know of some people who are like that. They see something nice on TV, like, you know, I should buy this. I should get this.
Yeah.
But it planted the seed in my head. So now whenever I think about insurance, the first thing I think about is Nationwide. And then Allstate. And then Geico. And then Farmers. But now, would you tell me maybe switch between Geico and Farmers? Yeah.
What about Progressive?
Flo?
Their commercials are pretty garbage now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. I hate that because she was like one of my favorite commercial people.
Yeah. No, yeah, they used to be good, but they went downhill.
And then Verizon Sprint guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was a thing for a while.
Okay, let's see. Some of my favorite commercials. So there's this one for Ziploc.
Okay.
And it was another musical commercial.
Okay.
And it wasn't really a story, but it was this guy singing about this lady named Erica, and about how she was, like how she's like the queen of her kitchen. Mm-hmm. She's like,
okay.
Like she uses Ziploc to like store all of her food, and she's like the grand poobah of pasta, and like the connoisseur of cold. And there's these backup singers. So like the guy starts off and says, "Meet Erica," and then the backup singers go, "Erica," and it just kind of goes on like that.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
I like that.
My sister and I used to quote that commercial all the time. There's another one actually going back to the gum commercials for I think it's Orbit. That was the one with the British lady, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Like Detty Mouth?
Yeah, that one. This woman walks in on presumably her husband with another woman.
I know exactly what commercial you're talking about.
And she says something, and the husband goes, "What the French toast?" And then the woman says something to the other woman about being a cootie queen, and this other woman goes, "Who are you calling a cootie queen, you lant liquor?" And yeah, I think that was where it ended.
Man, it's been a while since I've ever heard about that, but it was very memorable when it came out.
Let's see what else.
You know, those were some of my favorite commercials, and I'm glad that comedians do this. I love SNL commercials just because they play on the parody of commercials and they try to sell this ridiculous.
Wait, you mean like in the show or like commercials promoting the next week's episode of SNL?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah, but mainly like things in like whenever they're doing the show for that night and they sell things like there was one about oh gosh. So you know what a white noise machine is, right? So then they did one about Kenan Thompson and he couldn't get sleep with a white noise machine, so they started promoting the product of a black noise machine. And I'm going to leave it at that. If you guys want to know what it is, just type in Saturday Night Live or SNL Black Noise Machine.
It's so bad, but it's so funny.
It's really funny.
There's another one for like a mock perfume brand with Kristen Wiig called Red Flag.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. How she's like completely psycho.
Mm-hmm. And then there was another one. Tina Fey was in it. It was about like a brownie buddy. you had like a husband in bed, but it was like this giant brownie.
I know what you're talking about.
And
I think I don't know.
You look at him; it's so weird, but it's really funny.
I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, it's totally switching gears. I don't even remember what this was a commercial for. Oh wait, sorry. Okay, back up to SNL. There's another one for like a meth pipe.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
and
yes.
Then all I remember is that Aaron Paul comes in at the end.
Yeah, because like they were trying, because that's when e-cigarettes were really getting really getting popular and being prominent on the news, and then they did one, just do this one like e-meth.
Anyway, okay, so there was another one for like I said, I don't even remember what this was a commercial for, but this woman goes into a pharmacy and she like rings the bell or whatever, and Heisenberg pops out and he's like, how can I help you? And she's like, you're not like Jake or whatever the like regular pharmacist name was. He's like, I'm kind of Jake. He's like, I'm very experienced with drugs. And she gives him the prescription, and he like looks at it and he gives her a bottle of the wrong thing, and she's like, this is not what I want. And he's like, just take it. And then he says, he works a say my name joke into it somehow. I don't even remember. And then she just like walks out, and it's like, you wouldn't accept service from sort of Jake. So why would you expect service from whatever they were selling? So what else? What other good commercials I really like? See, I'm blanking right now. I feel like I'm going to go home and I'm going to think of like a million of them. Yeah. But
I do remember what McDonald's commercials were like. As a kid, I don't remember too much. But then for some reason, by the time I got to 5th grade, middle school, I really remember like a rise in like the production value of McDonald's commercials. Everything from both when they were selling kids meal, because obviously it would be associated with a TV show or a movie going on at the time. So you could you could advertise much more easily because you can collaborate with whoever you're doing with. But if it was just selling something like coffee in the morning or just a meal, I just remember this big surge of like really good looking McDonald's commercials and show all these like young hip people or like real successful middle-aged people or even happy old people just getting McDonald's and sharing it and everything. You know? That's when I started thinking, am I ever this happy when I eat McDonald's?
I don't think anybody's ever that happy when they eat McDonald's.
Then I'm like,
except for like a 5-year-old maybe.
Actually, I had it back when I was in San Marcos when I took the trip. Man, I was so happy when I had that. I'm like, this is, I haven't had it in so long. I just thought this is the greatest thing ever. I was burping a lot, but man, I'm so happy.
Do you miss the "I'm loving it" jingle?
I do actually. Yeah, maybe just because I like jingles, so I was like sing to myself. I have a terrible singing voice, but whenever I'm by myself, I just kind of sing to myself. So I love it.
Yep. All right. Well, that's good enough. I think we can end it there.
Right. That was a good topic, actually. I was.
Oh, see, you doubted me.
I didn't doubt you. I just didn't know where this was going because I went because commercials usually have a really bad reputation to them, and I definitely agree. I thought we were just gonna be bashing it, but I'm glad that it just didn't turn to a bashing it. It actually had some fun into it. So
yeah,
that was a good one.
Man, I'm disappointed though that I couldn't think of more commercials I really like because I know there are plenty.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh well. Okay.
Do you have any hot takes?
I do have a few hot takes. I don't know about you. Okay. First hot take is I finally watched a movie called A Cure for Wellness.
Oh yeah, we saw those trailers a couple of times.
Yep. This movie was bad.
Oh gosh.
You know, Rob and I were both like pretty excited about it. We thought it looked interesting, and then it came out and we didn't see it, and the reviews were not very good. So I was like, do I really want to watch this? She kind of, twisted my arm a little bit. And yeah, it was really a not good movie. It just did not make any sense. I'll just leave it at that. I will say one other thing though. I won't spoil anything, but when we watched the trailers, I pointed out that there was a lot of water imagery in the movie or in the trailers, and I thought that was going to be important to the movie, and I was right. So I'm just gonna pat myself on the back for making that prediction.
You want to do it for you?
No, just pat myself.
You sure? I'm right here.
Okay,
not a problem.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So the other night we watched a movie called Good Burger.
That sounds familiar.
So this was a Nickelodeon movie that came out like in the early 90s, I think, starring Kenan Thompson and I don't even know what his last name is. Kel.
Okay.
Keenan and Kel.
All right. Okay. Wasn't this a show?
See, that's what Catherine said this morning, but I'm not sure.
Weren't they both on all that?
They had their own show called Keenan and Kel, and they were both cast members on all that. So backing up.
No. Well, you know what? Keep going. I'm still looking because you're right. Kenan Thompson's on this. Kel Mitchell.
Mitchell.
Yeah.
So, back in the day, my cousin really loved this movie, and for some reason, like, he swears up and down that we watched this movie together, but I have zero memory of ever watching this movie prior to the other night.
Okay, so it wasn't a show by itself, but it was a sketch that was featured on a Nickelodeon series called All That.
All right.
So there's an in-between in there.
Okay. It's basically like the MacGruber movie from SNL.
Yeah, okay.
Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Yeah, I did. It was all right.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so like I said, my cousin Frankie, like, he swears we watched this movie. I really don't remember it, but it's on Netflix, so I finally decided to watch it. And so we started the movie, and I was like, man, I don't know if this movie is really going to be funny. Like, it's kind of aimed towards kids, and I don't know if it's going to hold up. And at first, I was, like, not finding it very entertaining, but towards, like, as the movie went on, like, I was laughing quite a bit. Like, it was actually pretty funny.
Cool.
There was definitely some parts, like, some, like, physical comedy that was not really my type of humor. But there was a lot of, like, really witty dialogue that I found pretty entertaining, so it's not like an Oscar-worthy movie or anything, but you know, if you're just, like, in the mood for, like, a few good laughs, I would recommend it. Next, like I said, I've been moved home for a few weeks now, and for whatever reason, I've just been catching a lot of Seinfeld on TBS.
Good job.
I forgot how much I love Seinfeld.
It's so good, right?
It's such a funny show. But what I wanted to say, other than that, is that I've been noticing that there's a lot of, like, they almost break character a lot on that show so much. I never noticed that when I was younger and was watching it. But, like, basically, like, it's mostly Jerry, actually, is, like, he'll, like, say something, or, like, someone will say something to him.
For me, I always notice when Elaine almost breaks character.
Yeah. No, I notice Jerry a lot. Yeah. Like, he'll just, like, start to, like, crack this smile. Like, you can see him, like, fighting to, like, contain it. But
well, whenever they have, like, those pauses between, like, somebody says something and they're just really staring at the character. And I can never tell, like, when it's, like, called for in the scene or when it's natural, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
so I thought that was interesting.
Have you ever seen any bloopers?
I probably have.
Oh, that was Friends the other day. Yeah. We saw the bloopers.
Because, I mean, it happens on Friends too quite a bit whenever, like, it happens, and apparently, like, I was looking at some interviews, like, oh, like, we had to do this take so many times just because, like, they couldn't stop laughing.
Wait, was it Friends?
Mm-hmm. It was Friends, because we were confused. It was when we were on the boat.
Okay.
That's all we watched was Friends and Seinfeld on the boat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Okay, last hot take for me is I watched the Netflix original show Glow.
Okay.
So this stands for weird. Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. It's about a fictional, like, professional wrestling TV the making of a professional wrestling TV show, fictional. So I believe I've said on the show before that I wrestled in high school, also known as collegiate wrestling or Greco-Roman wrestling, or as I like to call it, real wrestling. And professional wrestling, you know, I don't want to get into it, but I can't get into it the way that I know lots of other people do. And this show, I thought that I could get past it, but not really. Like, it was okay. Mark Maron was in it. He was definitely the best part of it for me. Allison Brie is the main character, and she's really weird in this show. Like, she's, like, not like her, like, Annie from Community at all. It was, it was okay. I won't say anything more than that. I can't really give it, like, 2 huge thumbs up or anything, but, you know, if you're into wrestling, it will probably work for you.
Nice. So I do have just one, which is the newest episode of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah, I watched that too.
Okay, you did?
Yeah. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about all of them.
Of
as they came
course,
out. All right.
of course.
Yeah.
And that's what I was happy when. I wanted Austin to stay for the whole time, but even when he left, like, I'm glad Darnell was there because he watches Game of Thrones. Yeah, so I was glad like I had something to talk to about that. So spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So actually, real quick, can you give me like what you thought about the first episode? I know we talked about it, but not on like.
First episode was good. I thought it was a lot of exposition and setting up for what's going to be happening later in the season, which is necessary, but wasn't terribly entertaining. It was late at night when I watched it, and I definitely dozed off a couple times, so that should say how captivating I found it. But still, solid start to the season.
Mm-hmm. Now with this new episode, what did you think?
Really, really good. I liked it a lot. Mm-hmm. It was a lot more entertaining, a lot more action-packed.
Yeah, especially that final scene, man.
Yeah, that was...
that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Let's see. My favorite part of the last episode, I guess, would have to be with Jorah and Sam.
Yeah, that was intense.
Oh, that was disgusting.
Yeah, and I felt so bad for Sir Jorah. Like, he goes through so much crap, and he's still fighting.
Yeah.
And the fact that, well, first off, like, hats off to Sam. He's risking his life to save Sir Jorah and exposing himself to the grayscale. But then hats off to Sir Jorah for holding it in, like all that. He doesn't scream out or anything. So basically what Sam ends up doing is he's starting to peel the grayscale off of Sir Jorah. He's basically flailing him.
Yeah.
And then after that, it cuts away to somebody like going into a pie, and I was like, oh, that's so gross. Like, I saw comments on YouTube about it, and I thought, okay, it's not that bad. No, when you see it, it's pretty gross, man. Yeah. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
No, those are really good scenes.
Yeah. Jon is leaving Winterfell. He's going to Dragonstone
to meet with Daenerys.
Yeah, I agree with that move.
Yeah.
Cersei is doing Cersei things, twisting the arms of the Tyrell bannermen to fight for her cause. What else happened? Grey Worm and Missandei finally hooked up. That was interesting.
I mean, you know what? I have to say, I actually do like their relationship.
No, I do too.
So when that whole scene before, before the, I'm trying to find a euphemism, but I can't think of anything clever right now. Before he sullies himself. Okay, but I'm trying to talk about a very touching scene. I can't do it without laughing. So that whole exchange that Missandei and Grey Worm have, I thought it was actually really touching because when she first comes in to talk to him, you can see she's obviously upset. Because he was gonna leave without saying goodbye to her, and she kind of just accepts like, okay, well, I wish you good fortune. And you see Grey Worm, like, this is like one of the, I mean, he's always had somewhat emotions, mostly between anger and frustration, but this, you really see him be a lot more human. You see like the vulnerability within Grey Worm when he's talking about, it's very hard for me to say goodbye to you because I don't know when I'll see you again and you're my weakness. And I like, she gets really like ticked off, like, excuse me, what did you just call me? And then he's like, he doesn't go like, no, but I know like inside he's like, oh crap, I said the wrong thing. And then he explains to like why it is the way it is, because he talked about what it's like for Unsullied to face fear and going through all that. And even though he wasn't the biggest or the strongest of the Unsullied, he was the bravest one because he had no fear. And now he has fear because he feels like he might never see Missandei from the Isle of Narth again. And then apparently, like, he has a way with words, and then, bam, it happens.
Yeah. I was really surprised they did not show his junk.
Yeah, actually I am too. I was like, it's Game of Thrones, they're gonna just do it. No. But I guess in the long run, I'm happy they didn't do it.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah, that must suck, man. And then Cersei gets a giant crossbow to shoot dragons.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Which is basically the same thing that they had in The Desolation of Smaug when they're trying to shoot at Smaug. It doesn't work. So I'm a little bit scared for the dragons.
Wait, I thought that was in the beginning of the third movie.
Of Desolation of Smaug?
No, of Battle of the Five Armies.
Oh, it comes in a flashback in the second one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then the arrow is there. And well, actually, no, the crossbow is there too. But
Yeah, you're right.
But,
I still haven't seen the Battle of the Five Armies yet.
oh, okay. So it makes me a little bit scared for the dragons because,
Yeah.
like, I don't want the dragons to die.
Same.
But I have seen some things on Instagram about memes about, you know, Qyburn showing off the crossbow, and it shows a picture of Drogon at the bottom saying, I'm not Rickon, I know how to zigzag. Which
I feel like at least one of them is probably
I know, I don't want it to happen. But you're probably right. Damn Game of Thrones. And then, I mean, oh yeah, so the thing with Daenerys, like her calling Varys out,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that makes sense. Somebody was bound to do it eventually.
Yeah.
I did feel like it was justified, but at the same time, like, maybe because we've been with Varys for so long since the beginning, like, I didn't feel any animosity towards him.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're being a little bit unfair. But then again, he did almost kill you. So I guess that's a little bit justified.
Yeah.
But I did like how Varys is like, he doesn't cower away. He's like, yeah, I did it. I did it for the good of the realm. And I would do it again.
Yeah.
But that last scene, though, oh my goodness.
Yeah, so before we get to that, we didn't get any Bran.
Yeah.
We didn't get any Jaime. Well, I mean, like a tiny little bit.
I totally forgot about Arya. We didn't talk about Arya.
Oh, yeah. She's going back to Winterfell. She thought she met Nymeria, but then it wasn't Nymeria. I was kind of confused.
I think it's
what they were saying.
From what I understand, it's Nymeria.
Oh,
but when she says it's not you, like, Nymeria used to be such a close companion
Right.
to Arya, and now seeing that she was so close that she just doesn't want to be with Arya anymore, she just kind of realized, like, oh, okay, that sucks.
yeah. But anyway, she found out that
Yeah.
that the Starks have Winterfell again.
And Hot Pie is still alive.
Yeah, I find it kind of weird that he actually referred to it as the Battle of the Bastards. Like,
Yeah.
that kind of took me out of it a little
Really?
bit. Yeah, I mean, like, it would make sense, but also, technically, Ramsay wasn't a bastard anymore. I don't know. But anyway. But yeah, so she's going back to
It was like a
Winterfell.
little meta, like, oh, they said the
Yeah,
title
yeah.
in it. I was a little bit surprised, though, because, well, actually, is he, like, up in the north where Hot Pie is? Or
I guess
'Cause-
so.
I don't know how much time has passed, because I know news travel was really slow in Westeros, so that's why I'm like, I don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's going back to Winterfell.
Yeah.
Finally.
So we didn't get any Bran.
Just as Jon is leaving to go south.
Oh, yeah. Which is a shame because at the beginning of the show, like, she doesn't get along with Sansa at all, and she's super close with Jon. So I feel like they'll like still like be reunited and that they'll be okay with each
you
other.
think so?
I hope so.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a Game of Thrones, man.
Anyway, okay, let's talk about the ending, and then I have something else that I want to say, but we can talk about Theon and Yara first.
Okay, that was really intense for a second episode, that last ending. I felt kind of bad because I knew something bad was going to happen to Daenerys' plan, and yeah, Euron Greyjoy attacks the fleet.
Freaking hate that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, as soon as Joffrey died, like, that was right around the time we got introduced to Ramsay.
Yeah.
And then right as soon as Ramsay dies, oh, now we have this prick. We have to deal with him. Why? Why can't we just have, like, normally bad people on this show? Like, why do they have to be, like, incredibly bad people?
Because it's Westeros. Well, not even just Westeros, it's Game of Thrones. Everybody's terrible on this show.
Yeah, but, like, he's, like, so much worse than anybody else.
Do you think so?
Well, than anybody else right now. Like, he's definitely not as bad as Ramsay or Joffrey, but...
His attack was pretty cool, though. Like, he just freaking comes down, like... I really felt the Ironborn spirit, though. Like, when he's just, like, coming down and attacking everybody on the ship. He doesn't care about anything. He's just killing people.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little bit cool, I will admit. He's just going crazy. But yeah, besides that, yeah, I don't know. I think once Joffrey really set in, and then they saw how big Ramsay got, then he kind of knows, okay, we can make these terrible people, and people will enjoy having this antagonist to fight against.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
So then two of Oberyn's daughters died.
Mhm.
I wasn't too upset about that because I didn't really have any attachment to them. Like, I don't remember their names or anything. Like, I did like how there was, like, the 3 sisters and they each fought with a different weapon. Like, I thought that was kind of cool, but other than that, I didn't really care about them too much. And then he kidnapped the other daughter and what's her name? And then he also kidnapped Yara. And then he's, like, taunting Theon. He's like, come save your sister, and Theon abandons ship.
Yeah,
which,
he gets reeked.
Yeah. Man, there's like so many ways to analyze that scene and that action, and I feel like if I was in his position, I'd probably do the same thing. Because
I know people are like, oh, Theon, why you do this? But look at what Theon has gone through.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not justifying everything he's done, but he's gone through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Probably most than what anybody has ever had to go through. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense that it wouldn't just go away just like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so last thing I want to say, this is going to be a controversial statement.
Okay.
I am not rooting for Daenerys.
Really?
I don't think I like Daenerys.
Why?
There's just something about her, and it was when she was having that whole conversation with Varys, that, like, she's just so, like, cold and, like, she's trying to do, like, the regal thing, and there's just something about it that, like, is off-putting to me.
Yeah.
And, like, yes, she has the best claim to the throne, I think, and she has, like, the firepower.
Just no!
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know how that's going to shake out. Like, because nobody knows except for Bran, and Bran is, like, so far removed from everything else. Like, who knows if that information is going to get anywhere in time. Yeah. But I think she has the best claim to the throne, and I think she would make a good ruler, but I'm still not rooting for her, and I can't really put into words why. But
I understand what you mean. Just, like, her attitude throughout that whole exchange.
Yeah.
And you know what? I mean, I'm okay, because, like, that's not anything new that Daenerys has done, but I have missed some of, like, the more tender moments that Daenerys has shown, like, her more gentler side. Because she's supposed to be this really big dichotomy of ferocity of the Targaryens, but she's also supposed to be, like, almost an anomaly with the Targaryens that we've seen. Yeah. I mean, we've only seen, like, technically 3 Targaryens. Her, Viserys, and, like, for literally, like 8 seconds, Aerys Targaryen.
Right.
But she was supposed to, like I said, she's incredibly ruthless when she has to be, but she's also incredibly compassionate and kind when she has to be. And I think, you know, we didn't get too much of the compassionate ones by the last episodes of season 6. We got it back when Ser Jorah showed her that he had grayscale, and she instantly gets, like, all that regret and sadness about everything that's happened between her and him. Mm-hmm. But, like, by the time she gets back to Marine, she's just like, yeah, death to the masters. Yeah. Well, actually, no. I mean, the whole exchange between her and Tyrion when she names him Hand of the Queen, that was, like, a good callback to that. But yeah, it's been such a long time, and she feels personally, I think she feels the need to have to keep up that front of being the queen.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't disagree with any of that. There's something about her that I just can't get behind.
Yeah, I understand. So, but I'm still rooting for Daenerys.
I'm rooting for Jon.
I hope at some point we just root for both of them. So.
Okay, well, that's our thoughts on Game of Thrones. Alright, so that means it's time for our final segment, which is, of course, Fanfic Bites, aka the Kevin segment. So, this week, we're going to have Captain America, aka the First Avenger, versus Wonder Woman, aka the Woman of Wonder. So, I have no idea how we picked whenever the last time we had a regular fanfic fight was, so I'll just let you pick first.
Okay. I'll do Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So, which one should go first?
You can go first.
I can go first. Okay. So, what is this? This is like a regular battle?
Yeah.
Fight? Okay. So, Diana, daughter of the Mascara. I think that in the fight between her and Captain America, it'd be pretty close, but I think she would take it. And not, I mean, obviously, you know, being, what is she at this point? Half god, daughter of a god. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Related to a god. She obviously has somewhat of a higher edge. I mean, given durability, stamina, strength, age, all that stuff. But I mean, I know. Okay, I take it back. I know I said I wasn't going to give too much attention to that, but I'm going to give attention to that. I mean, she's part god.
Yeah.
Okay. Aside from the fact, she's also been trained in the art of Amazon warfare. And she's an incredibly, incredibly skilled fighter, ranging everything from hand-to-hand close quarter combat to knives, swords, spears, archery. She's great in acrobatics and gymnastics. She can jump ridiculously I mean, both in the comics, because she can fly. She doesn't fly yet. Well, actually, I don't know. I haven't seen it in the movie, but she can do some pretty cool stuff.
Okay.
And not only that, she can call upon, it's not like immediate, but she can call upon like the help of the gods if crisis need be. And let's just say, like, take all that away, like the god thing away. Just her by herself as a warrior can handle Captain America to the fullest extent of his powers, and even like more than that, because her durability, her spirit just as a warrior and stuff. Like, do you remember in Justice League Doom, the only way the contingency was ever going to work is that she's going to fight and she's going to keep on fighting, and she'll continue to fight until her heart gives out, because she will not give up.
Yeah.
If that doesn't say anything about perseverance, then I don't know what is. And just on top of that, like, Steve Rogers, he has tremendous knowledge of just fighting. He's trained with the best of the best in the Marvel Universe. He's been beaten before. It's no secret to that, but so is Wonder Woman. They're not, invincible. But I honestly think, like, between the two, Wonder Woman she beats everything because just of her tenacity. And back to the god thing. She is part god. So, I mean, let's just say, like, he punches her. Like, I think the punch will hurt, but it's not going to do anything like if you punch, like, a regular person like you and me. Like, if Captain America punched us in the stomach, odds are our stomach would probably explode into billions of pieces. If he punched Wonder Woman, it'd just be like, ow. So, honestly, in a fight between the two of them, I think Wonder Woman would win. And let's just say it was just a fight of them using shields. I still think Wonder Woman would win.
So, yeah, I mean, she's a little bit stronger, a little bit faster, and, she has the whole flying thing, but I think you can't discount Cap's experience. And, like, yeah, she's, like, hundreds of years old or whatever, and hundreds of years old or whatever. There are hundreds in thousands, so that's lots of hundreds. So, yeah, like, she's got experience too, but, he's seen some stuff, man. Like, he knows what's up. And he's got the super soldier serum, so he has, peak strength and endurance and healing capabilities. And the other thing is that he's much more skilled with his shield than she is. Like, yeah, she's very well-rounded with lots of weapons, but he is a master with one weapon, which is not only a weapon, but also his greatest form of defense, the vibranium shield, to, deflect attacks or, hit the opponent with it, throw, he's, like, could have a PhD in geometry based on the angles that he's able to throw his shield. It's really quite amazing. So, I mean, yeah, I think that he would be able to block anything that comes at her, or at him, sorry, and, attack when he's able, and, he would just wear her down, because, she might be half god, but, he could do this all day.
I will say this, if I remember correctly, in the newest continuity of either the New 52 or in Rebirth, she gains the mantle of God of War, or Goddess of War. So I'm just saying, maybe that's probably a pretty good edge whenever you're in a fight with somebody. But
so you're saying I should have done Wonder Woman versus Kratos?
Perhaps.
Well, maybe another day.
But I actually don't know how that fight would go down.
Oh, I know exactly how that fight would go down.
Because they both have killed the God of War before.
Well, Kratos has killed lots of gods. So.
Yeah. But then again, Kratos is also... I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
I will not go there. Not on this podcast right now.
All right. Anyway, we really want to know who you thought would win this fight. So please send us an email to abcpodcast92@gmail.com. And we would love to hear from you. So we've been going on for a really long time now. So I'm really hungry. So I should probably get out of here. But for that, really quickly, you can follow me on Twitter at AtariAlex. You can find Brandon on Twitter by going to my bio, and his username is in there. It's the easiest way to get to him. If you really want to, you can also follow Robin on Twitter. Just go to my timeline, scroll down, look for something relating to cats or marriage, and you'll find her tagged in that tweet. While you're there, you can also find links to our YouTube and iTunes pages, and you can subscribe to both so that you never miss an episode. We'd also really appreciate if you leave us a comment or a review on iTunes so that we can know how to improve. Tell us to find a new recording space where there are not children screaming outside. That would probably be a good place to start. But yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for listening, and we will catch you all next week.
Bye.